This evening, we're honored to have a champion bowling on this squad, and we recognize his achievement by placing an eagle next to his name. On lane 14, this gentleman is the 2007 All-Events champion from West Henrietta, New York, Mike Rose Jr. We also have 3 celebrities bowling on this squad. On lane 10, this lady is the 1988 Cubica AMF World Cup champion from Dayton, Ohio, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly. On lane 10, this lady is the 2002, 2003, 2004, and 2011 Team USA Trials champion, and the 2002 and 2004 Cubica AMF World Cup champion. She also won gold, silver, and bronze medals in the WTBA World and PABCOG Championships from Dayton, Ohio, Team USA member Shannon Blahowski. On lane 14, this gentleman won a gold medal in the 2006 WTBA World Championships and a silver medal in the 2003 WTBA World Championships from Burnsville, Minnesota, Scott Hole. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Bowlers, you now have 10 minutes of practice on your starting lanes.
Get on the horse ball. Matt Canizaro and Emil Williams Jr. at the Baton Rouge River Center live from the 2012 USBC Open Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a doozy for you tonight. It's the triple-double, the hat trick of live streaming, I believe. It does not get any better than this, and we did not do this on purpose at all. We signed on tonight to take a look at some familiar faces: April Ellis, Billy Murphy, Brian Waliczek, Corey Simmons, some talented bowlers from the Midwest, former collegiate standouts at various colleges, and some PBA time as well. And as a bonus on the pair right next door, we got Shannon Plahowski, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly, and their talented teams. And then as another bonus, the triple part of the triple-double is a few lanes away, Mike Rose Jr., the 2007 regular all-events champion. And possible bonus coverage tonight, the double part of the triple-double, is Matt McNeil, 2010 Open Championships regular all-events titleist in the house. He did okay last night out on the lanes, and for the first time ever in the history of the USBC Open Championships, we have the three-man booth here behind lanes 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14. Matt Canizaro, Emil Williams Jr., and Matt McNeil. Emil and McNeil. Holy cow. What's going on, gentlemen?
That's like the double threat right there.
I like how that sounds. What's up, Maddie and Maddie? How about that? Maddie Square tonight?
That's right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me in the booth. Pleasure to be up here with you. And also, don't forget, former Team USA member Scott Pohl is bowling with Mike Rose and his crew tonight. So that should provide for some extra scoring possibilities and interest out there.
Well, I do believe if we just went down the resume of all 30 of these bowlers, that would take up the entire 3 hours of this team event. A lot of accomplishments over many, many years now. Some older folks, some recent college graduates and such. So a little something for everybody. We get lefties, righties, boys, girls, you name it. It should be an interesting night.
It's fun for the whole family, children of all ages.
It definitely is going to be what we expect to be an exciting night, not only here in the team event, of course, but then the bonus coverage at 11:30 tonight. But first things first, and this is the team event, and can be a troublesome team event, can be a very successful team event, but of course, as we talked about several times, strategy and gameplay all has a big doubt or a big influence on what happens.
Yeah, you're certainly right. You got to play together as a team to set the lanes up properly to ensure a consistent scoring pace out on the lanes. And without that, you can have a big first game, but then you're trapped, and you get to game 2, game 3, and, well, you're looking 9-20 in the face.
Usually what we've seen so far, at least and especially on our live stream broadcasts, usually the first game average tends to be around somewhere between 950 and 1020 or so, give or take. And then, of course, the second game, things start to open up and, scores start to go up, and you see somewhere between the 1080 and 1120-ish mark. And the third game's kind of a toss-up. I've seen teams shoot 1200. We saw 1261 actually last night while you were bowling, just a few lanes down. And we've also seen, 980s and 990s. So it all depends, I guess, what you do from practice on, and then, of course, the first two games all plays a part in what happens in game 3.
That's very true. And, looking at these teams out here, it's like I'm seeing already a mix of equipment choices, a mix of lines to the pocket. So these people might really get themselves trapped here early. It's going to be interesting to see how game, 3/4 through the first game, game 2 really shapes up, and we'll see if they can make anything out of it. But just watching from right now and what we did in team event last night, it's not looking too promising right now for these guys.
Well, gentlemen, before we get going here, Lucas Wiseman has checked in the chat room, so we do need to be on our best behavior, of course. Big Brother is watching and taking notes, I'm sure, for his next broadcast coming up this week. But while we have this opportunity, Emil, let's get the rundown. Who are we watching here? Right now, we're on lane 7 and 8 at the Baton Rouge River Center.
Well, on lane number 7, we just saw Maggie Smith. Maggie, formerly of Wichita State University. Katie Verbal, we just saw strike, the southpaw on lane 7. Anne-Marie Curls, we were told earlier, she also, I believe, attended Wichita State at one point. April Ellis, formerly of Pikeville University, won a national title. She was there as well. And Don Anderson rounds out lane number 7. Richard Reynolds. On lane number 8, James Hall, Billy Murphy. Coach Murphy, as I have come to know him. Head coach over at Newman University, also attended Wichita State as a student and a bowler. Corey Simmons, great left-hander for Newman University back in the day. And I shouldn't say back in the day, it was just a few years ago. But an All-American there. And Brian Waliczek. I believe he won a national title with Saginaw State University in the late 90s, All-American as well. So, as always, some talented teams, but that's not it, of course. That's just lanes 7 and 8. And as Matt mentioned earlier, 9 and 10 with some Hall of Famers. Mandy Wilson on lane number 9, Andy Trago, Michael Rubby, Dale Vaughn, and John Hoven. That's lane number 9. That is Capri 2. And then Capri Lanes on lane 10. These teams, or excuse me, Capri Lanes from Dayton, Ohio. Capri 2 from Inglewood. But Capri Lanes, Bob Kelly, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly, World Cup, Megan Kelly, Mike Irwin, and current Team USA member Shannon Puhalski.
Lifetime Team USA member Shannon Puhalski. It seems like she's been out there a dozen years now and has won just about everything there is to win. And some folks in the chat room kind of curious how we selected who we're watching tonight. And again, for those of you just joining us, we actually tuned in to see some new faces, familiar out in the bowling world, but new on our live stream broadcast here at the Open Championships. That would be the first group we introduced, the Wichita crew, April Ellis, Billy Murphy, Brian Waliczek, and those guys. And we got lucky. We got some bonus action over here to the right of them, Shannon Puhalski and her group, who we did show last year on our live stream. And then, of course, a few lanes down, Mike Rose and his talented crew as well. So, very interesting the way things worked out here. And that's not all for the night, but we'll keep you posted as it all unfolds. It's going to be an exciting one, no doubt. Some very talented bowlers out here tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. Going back to Shannon Puhalski, I mean, just one of the sweetest arm swings you'll ever see in the game. Very versatile, of course, when she can get outside of 6 and go up the lane. Well, pretty much just hand your money to her because her swing's about as smooth as a $500 Italian shirt.
How about that?
How about that?
Don't want to forget the talented crew on 13 and 14, as we will periodically take a look and see how Mike Rose Jr. and his crew are doing. Mike Rose, again, a 2007 regular all events champion.
And then you got, as I mentioned, Scott Pohl, Scotty Turzo, Jack Zuniga, and Royce Rusher. So a lot of good players over there. Norm Beluski, Phil Kaiser. So a very talented bunch from the East Coast. Those guys really know how to score. They know how to throw strikes. They're not afraid of the big strings. So as a nice shot by Scotty Turzo there on lane 13.
So I am back here feverishly taking notes. We've seen quite a few left-handers on our broadcast this year. Many of them struggled, especially early, with the back ends fresh. A lot of hook off the pattern. And I believe, at least in my opinion, watching them, they weren't far enough left early. They've tried to play the middle of the lane where there is no hold this year. So pretty much everything was through the face or Brooklyn until they were able to kind of figure things out. Maybe they went with something too shiny and it didn't smooth it out too much off the pattern there. And now we have 3 very, very talented lefties in our sides: Corey Simmons, Shannon Pluhowski, and Scott Turzo. And of course, one extremely talented left-hander in the booth as well now. So now I'm only the second coolest left-hander and second coolest Matt in the booth tonight, which is okay. Matt McNeil averaging a cool 255 over his last 21 tournament games here at the Open Championships. So I will, again, as I said many times, my goal now is to finish within 400 pins of Matt. And he'll be here tonight giving us all of his secrets and tips to finding success at the Open Championships. He did so last night, shot 792 in the team event. Struggled a little bit, clearly. But he'll be with us for the next couple games before he gets ready to make a run at a second all-events title tonight at 11:30. So his insight, very much appreciated, along with Emil. So here we are. Let's do this, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And really looking at the pattern before you come out here, you got to look at the length of the pattern. What part of the lane do I need to control? And with the backs hooking so much, you really need to focus on, a ball that's going to change direction earlier, a way to slow down that back end reaction. And the best way to do that is with a pin down drilling, something that doesn't flare a whole lot. That's going to give you more push towards the hole. And then obviously you got to have some surface and be willing to play straight up 4, 5, 6, pound it out, grind it out, dry it up, pick up your spares. You're going to push oil to the left. You'll create a trough for yourself. And then it just comes down to shot making. So anybody who comes out here and follows that, you can shoot 34, 50, no problem.
There you have it. How about that? Just put it out there from Mr. McNeil.
Well, if we are leading, I won't have said any of that, but
fair enough.
Well, we got some of the usual suspects checking in tonight: Ronnie Horton, Lucas Wiseman, Jeff Biggles checking in via text message, and we've already have the word out to all left-handers. If we're going to be showing Matt McNeil later tonight, please make sure that is archived. They're all going to try to stay up late, go grab a Red Bull, a Monster, whatever you got to do. They'll be taking notes as well. So Matty McHonorscore scheduled to take the lanes tonight at 11:30 right now. I don't know where to look. So many great bowlers. Right now we're looking at lanes 7 and 8. Up on lane 7 right now, Brian Waliczek, former collegiate champion at Saginaw Valley State University.
Yeah, Brian's a really talented young man. He's got a great game, good arm swing. He can turn it up, he can play straight, he can loop it. So he's very versatile, can pick up his spares, make some good shots out there. What I'm seeing right now is he's just got a ball that's not setting up right. It's not reading the end of the pattern right. As you just saw that last shot on lane 7, it kind of revved up and died off the pattern. So it's almost like it was a little too much ball too early. So he needs something that's going to be a little smoother off the back end of the pattern. Maybe like a shiny, solid 4000 Abralon. And that'll help him smooth out that end of the pattern transition, get him a better skid roll.
Well, Brian definitely one of my collegiate heroes back in the day. He actually bowled next to us my very first game as a collegiate bowler and shot 268, while Kelly Kulik was on the other side of the building shooting 300 on the women's side. So the fact that I was able to hang with Brian for one game of my college career was definitely a highlight, and have looked up to him ever since. So looking forward to seeing what he's capable of tonight. Has since gone on to some PBA success as well. And now landed here with this talented crew.
Looking on 7-8, it looks like Katie's playing them pretty good so far. Started off with a double. She's going right up with something pretty smooth, rolly, kind of plain Jane, not very aesthetic, if you will, but going right up there, nice roll. That one's left. That'll be a tough spare. But, if you can go up the lane with something that rolls and reads the pattern nice, you're going to do well out here.
Well, I don't think on many of our broadcasts, maybe on the first one or one of them with Mike Lickstein, we haven't seen multiple lefties try to attack this pattern. And as far as strategy and breaking them down, I know, Matt, you said 2 other lefties on your pair last night. And how's that different from the recent 2 years out in Reno?
Well, I tell you, it's awesome because all 3 of us are on the same page. I can talk with people who understand the side of the lane. They understand what's going on out there. They see it. Whereas when I'm bowling with 9 right-handers, I really don't have anybody to communicate with. So having Chuck Fashaw and Dave Hoppenrath out there is a blessing. And it really paid off this year. We had a plan, we followed it, we stuck to it, and we made them pretty sweet.
You guys moved into 5th place regular team with 32.78 last night, of course. Still a good score. I'm sure you guys are probably a little disappointed, of course, but it's a good score, and I'm sure 75% of the people will gladly take that score. But what happened out there last night?
Well, we left a lot of pins out there. Our anchor bowler, John East, who's one of the best bowlers you're ever going to see out here. Great game, great mental game, smooth, can do it all. He's won numerous Eagles. He's been struggling with his back, and he had a complication from some medications that made him a little dizzy. So he got a bad read in practice, and he really couldn't stay down and be himself. So that hurt him in the early going. He rebounded and managed to shoot 6-0, which was good, but not enough. When you're going to shoot 34 and change, you really got to have 5 guys giving you at least 660 to 680 with maybe 1 or 2 guys getting hot.
Well, 34-01, of course, a solid number here. We've seen some close calls in recent weeks, but that is a big-time number right there, and some youngsters came out. They did everything right. They played them right. They played them together. They communicated, and they were definitely rewarded. And some really good teams have come by so far trying to catch that and have bowled extremely well and not even come close. So interesting with the amount of teams, the talent quality that we have here, not just this week, but the entire month of May. Just kind of curious if that 3,400 is going to get it done. Some people think that is a winner, but so many times we've thought that and saw something even bigger. So I'm not going to make any predictions at this point.
Well, I think it's safe to say, Matt, that that's a top 3 score. I can definitely see that being a top 3 score. So many good teams to come through the doors yet. We've got a couple of months left here. But that's definitely a top 3 score in my book if I was a betting man. I
think I was in that category of thinking that for sure would probably be a winner up until I saw the O'Keefe's Bowl, and they had a legitimate chance at 1,300, just like DB8 Indianapolis had last night. But they shot, I think, 12:37. The last game ended up with 33-19. And then about a week later, I watched Jesse Buss and John Zerbinsky, Chris Drews, A.J. Dubin, and Casey Slaughter shoot 33-44 with a big first game. And so once I watched those 2 teams, I got an extreme, not confidence, but I just thought that it could happen. Someone else can now shoot 3,400. Watching those 2 teams bowl.
Yeah, certainly. 34-50 is definitely out there.
Well, watching the teams we're looking at right now, the Wichita crew struggling so far here. A couple of gutter balls, a few 210s early here in Game 1. As we talked about, I'm sure you guys mentioned earlier, Game 1 is a tough one. If you can pull it together and put up a big number in game 1, and the lanes open up as you expect them to, then good things will happen. That's kind of been the strategy, and we've seen it, of course, except for our team leaders, who were pretty steady throughout, all 3 games over 1,100. But if these guys are going to find success here tonight, they're going to have to get things together. Shooting under 1,000 at this point in game number 1 is probably not going to get it done. And again, we saw a gutter 5 count, I believe, out of Billy Murphy just a moment ago, and then a couple of 210s. So we'll see if they can open this pair up. But as we learned last year, sometimes it's not the folks that you're coming in to see that are going to run away with it. Last year, as some of you might remember, we checked in with our defending doubles champs, who put on a pretty good performance. But at the same time, the team all events title was won by K&K Bowling Services 5 of Las Vegas, a talented group. Andrew Kane, Chris Clark, and those guys were on the same squad. And again, even further down the other side of the house, another talented group. So it was actually a yo-yo back and forth on who was going to take the team all events title at that point, or at least take the lead, being that it was May. And we had no problem. We turned the cameras and we caught it all. So again, we're here to see these Wichita kids, but you just never know what's going to happen along the rest of the house.
Well, and that's what makes this tournament so great. You just have so many good teams in one building throughout a length of time, and anything can happen. I mean, that's what makes this tournament literally the best tournament for amateurs in the United States. Hands down, no doubt, bar none.
Well, just last night, for an example, I guess, everybody had their sights on Lynn's Lakers down here. Matt McNeil, of course. Where's Matt going to play? And he did not disappoint, coming out with 250, and then the front 9 in game 2 for 270. But quietly, on a different portion of the house, there was a 300 game in the team event. Emil, of course, was here. He also had his eyes on Lynn's Lakers. Emil, what was last night like here? I mean, we've seen it before with a lot of excitement, both sides of the house, back and forth. I saw the team title on the same squad in 2009, the top 2 teams of the entire year. That was the longest tournament in history, 154 days. And the team title was decided on the same squad, like 10 lanes apart, first and second place. So to be back and forth and to see all this happening, what was it like in that environment?
Well, just last week, it was kind of just like that. As we had Jess Buss and John Zabinski, Rick Steelsmith was also bowling. They were companion teams. We had about 4 teams that night as well, which provided some excitement. But last night, of course, we had Lynn's Lakers on one side, and I believe on 25-26, we had Chris Dunham and Deviate Indianapolis. He ended up shooting 300 the last game. Their companion team, I believe, is Bowlers Sports Shop 2, but they've been called, I believe, possibly 900 Global before in the past. Team that included John Bowerly Jr. Also finished third back in 2010 in all events. At one point took the lead before a day later Mr. McNeil came in and did his thing. But 2 talented teams, a group of 10 solid bowlers. And Deviate Indianapolis again got off to kind of a slow start. Didn't shoot a game over 1,000 the first 2, and then erupted for 1261 in game 3, which included 300, of course, by Chris Dunham, also of Indianapolis. So it's one of those things to where we talk about lane play. The third game can be hit or miss sometimes, and it was definitely on the plus side for those guys last night. And then on the other end, obviously, Lynn's Lakers still giving it a run at the regular team lead. So a busy night. It is the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday usually is a hot time to be at the Open Championship. So we still expect the weekend to provide some other numbers.
It's Friday night lights here, just about Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday nights. So a lot of excitement, of course.
Well, right now, not very exciting on lane 7 and 8 here at the Baton Rouge River Center. Brian Waliczek now up again on the left lane, struggling so far here, yet to strike, and there's his first one of the night. So just a minute, we'll take a look up at the scoreboard and then maybe shift our attention to the next pair over. Shannon Pluhowski starting tonight with 5 strikes in a row, so we'll keep an eye on her as well.
Yeah, Shannon's throwing it really good right now. She's a little right of where I was using, looks like something a little shinier, looping it a little more. We'll see how that affects the pattern, whether it makes it nicer or not.
Well, we heard early, hey, there's no shot on the left here, and we saw some lefties struggle. We saw a couple bowl really well. Stephen Hardy, a shot over 2,000. He bowled exceptionally well. And we saw Mike Lickstein on our broadcast actually bowl pretty well. And he had a different approach to the whole thing. He actually started with a 360 grit bowling ball, and he kind of went around the pattern a little bit. And it took a game or two to get him lined up, but he finished team event with 260 and shot nearly 2,000 as well. And I don't know. I guess the talented lefties continue to bowl well.
Yeah, you're always going to have the cream rise into the top no matter what you have out there. But saying that, let's not forget about Hugh Miller and Adam Barta, who were leading doubles actually at one time until they got knocked down. So, I mean, that's another good pair of left-handers. So I think anybody who comes out here and says the left side isn't playable, just didn't play them right.
Well, this year's pattern, 39 feet, a little bit shorter than previous years and a little less volume, especially in the middle. So you're not going to see the hold that you saw last year in Reno. And if you miss in, you're going to pay for it either through the face or hopefully Brooklyn if you're lucky. So definitely, as always, USBC Sports Certified. You have to make good shots and you have to make your spares. And as you see right now, a lot of dashes up on the scoreboard. We'll take a look here after this 5th frame. But again, things not going well so far.
Well, no, and I think what I said before practice is holding true. You got people throwing chalk, people throwing shine, in, out, in between, and they're making a mess of the pattern right now, and I don't think it's going to get much better. So we'll see, but I really don't think at this point, like, they're going to make a number up there just because of how they're playing the lanes. There's really no teamwork, as the viewers can see. I mean, you got guys playing everywhere.
Well, let's see if Billy Murphy here on the right lane can get things back together. Had gutter 5 a minute ago and a 6 split in the 4th frame. It goes high there, leaves the 6-10 only. So he is still yet to strike here in game number 1. Does not look comfortable at all.
No, he's just not getting through the shots. He's, he's really defensive because he's getting such a mix of ball reactions. One will start up on him, one will go long. So we'll see. He needs to, loosen up that arm swing, be confident out there.
Billy definitely the veteran of this group by far. A former collegiate star, and then, of course, many, many successes in the World Team Challenge on some very difficult conditions. So he definitely knows how to play. And it's like you said, it's just a matter of getting comfortable at this point as he picks up the 6-10.
I'll tell you what, making a spare will help. It's not a strike, but
stick clean.
You get a slash up there. That'll ease the tension. Not all the way, but as many of you, I'm sure, can attest to being in this kind of situation, not particularly at this tournament, but at any other event. You bowl, you start off not having the success early, you start to get uncomfortable, so anything becomes a challenge at that point.
That's certainly right, and the best bowlers have great spare games. If you want to be a good bowler, you have to have a good spare game.
No doubt about that. That's one of the keys to success here. Definitely, as you navigate through the early part of the team event, there's going to be some leaves that you're going to have to make. Hopefully, nothing too crazy, but you're going to have to make some, and that's just it.
Great shot right there out of Anne-Marie Curros. She's a late addition to this group. Actually, April Ellis called me the other day and asked if I knew anybody who was available and able to sub for them, as they had a hole in their lineup just days before coming out to Baton Rouge. And, of course, I was not able to help, and they found somebody within the family here who was able to come out and step up, former Wichita Stater. So a great shot right there from her in the 5th frame. And now April up on lane number 7 as Brian Waliczek doubles up on the right. But April tonight sporting her orange and blue Hammer jersey at the request of the live stream crew here, representing the Florida Gators. Go Gators, orange and blue. So we appreciate that. That was part of the deal for tonight's live stream broadcast. That was actually the selling point, is that she would represent, and she has come through as she came through with a strike there. So while we have this opportunity, let's take a look at the scoreboard and see how things are unfolding for our Wichita area bowlers. As you can see, things not off to a great start, but a couple of breaks here and some strikes going up on the scoreboard.
Shannon continues to strike on lane 9, has the front 6. And that shot was all of very, very good. Really got through that one nice. So she will be fun to watch. Might make my 792 look pretty humble out there.
Well, you guys were talking about how important spares are here at the Open Championships, but as you also know, if you only throw strikes, Mr. McNeil, you don't have to worry too much about spares.
Yeah, I mean, I think I missed 5 times, had 4 7s and a 6, so easy spares. So made them all, had a good 30 clean out there. That's always something you really look forward to here, is trying to get your 30 clean. Like I told Matt last year, I'm always 1 clock short of a full collection. So.
Good spare for Maggie Smith to convert the 10 pin. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of good bowlers on this pair of lanes. Corey Simmons was an animal in college bowling for Newman University.
That's an understatement.
Team USA as well. I got to spend a week with him down at the Tournament of the Americas in Fort Lauderdale and watched him cruise to a whole bunch of gold medals down there, and made me very jealous of his abilities as a left-hander.
Yeah, Corey's got a really nice game. As he's aged, he's gotten more mature, more confident, so he's really throwing the ball well. He can play straight, he can hook it. You know, just a great, nice guy, very versatile. So always expect great things out of Corey.
Well, for those of you just joining us, we appreciate it. It's Matt Canizaro and Bill Williams Jr. and Matt McNeil live in the Baton Rouge River Center 2012 USBC Open Championships. We are currently kind of behind lanes 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. And we also have our eyes on lanes 13 and 14. So a lot of great bowlers right in front of us tonight. And this gentleman just offered us some peanut M&Ms, and we'll have to decline, of course. But anyway, so we're here to see a lot of great bowlers and a lot of questions in the chat room as well. But right now, Matt McNeil getting ready for tonight's 11:30 p.m. doubles and singles squad. He actually starts on lanes 9 and 10. So some folks asking, are we going to show his doubles and singles? And it is possible. It is more than likely at this point. Fair enough. So we do intend, if possible, to keep the cameras rolling for Mr. McNeil tonight to see if he can continue his tear that he began last night, 792 in a team event. But right now, Shani Puhowski putting on a show right in front of us. So she has the front 6 here on lanes 9 and 10. So we'll turn the cameras in her direction as she tries to make it 7 in a row here to start her 2012 campaign.
Yeah, Shannon, boy, I tell you, she's so darn good. And especially when she can get out, play the gutter. She, like I said, just empty your pockets and give it to her.
So a lot of great folks joining us. Gary Brown checking in, Mike Larson, Lucas Wiseman, Greg Thomas, Gail Myers Jr., there he is. And a lot of folks in the house. Saw Rob Gottschall a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Robbie G's down there. couple other familiar. We got Team USA member, former Team USA member Sam Lanto standing right to my right.
Here goes Shani Pluhowski up on lane 10, looking for
That's
7
high.
in a row.
Oh no, that's out there pretty nice.
Great shot there, and as we talked about, this pattern 39 feet, and a little bit of hook, especially early at the end of the pattern, but a little bit of surface smooths that out, no problem. Takes away that violent jump off the friction there, and she showed that. You thought that ball maybe was going to make a move, and it held nicely. Just a little bit of surface will do that for you, and she has the front 7. How about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought that shot was probably about 3 boards right of where she wanted it, and because she gets through the ball so well, the ball's going to delay, and you're going to get better results out there. So, plus she's probably got the right layout, something that doesn't flare a whole tot, so it'll just roll instead of trying to really make an arc. So that'll give her some extra push down lane. But kudos to her. I'm shaking in my boots. I don't think 790 is going to be enough for a high-end team here.
Well, Shannon has been known to strike in her day a little bit.
Just a tad.
During her record performance at the World Women's Championships just this past summer, shot 299 and 300 in the step ladder or Masters Finals or whatever it was. It put on quite a show for the world to see, and now she's doing it for our audience as well. So we appreciate that from her, and thanks for all of you for joining us tonight. All of this bonus coverage from the 2012 Open Championships. Right now, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly up on lane 9, putting together a solid game so far here tonight.
Yeah, double spare, spare, strike, spare. 2-1, 2-2 pace out there. So clipping right along.
And now her daughter, Megan Kelly, stepping up on the left. She just had a pretty solid week at the Queens down in Dallas. Her and Shani Pluhowski both bowled very well, made it to match play a couple rounds in. So they got to be feeling pretty good about that. A little confidence coming in here to Baton Rouge, as that shot looks a little bit right. And
what a break.
Crumbles.
What a break out there. And that's a big double right there. I mean, now you're on 220 pace instead of looking 2-0 in the face. So that's a good break. Hopefully she can take advantage of it.
A big double and a big smile. That's got to help the confidence, no doubt.
That'll free up the arm swing a little bit for you.
A little bit, and kind of the opposite of what's going on 7 and 8, unfortunately.
Oh, it's a train wreck over there. And it's like I said, these guys aren't playing the lanes together. They have no team cohesion going. There's no uniformity of play out there, and that's why they're struggling so bad. Teams to come out here, take this as a learning lesson. You guys don't work together, you're not going to score. You're going to end up struggling like these people are on 7 and 8.
A couple of 1, 2, 4 10s on lane 8. I think 3 consecutive on lane 8. So hopefully Wichita Bowling Supply can rebound. Going to right the ship here as we head toward the final frames of the first game and set themselves up for success in game number 2. Of course, on 9 and 10, Shannon Pluhowski with the front 7. She'll be up on lane 9 after Mike Urban tries to convert the 1-2-4. Take a peek over at 13 and 14. Got some X's on the board for pole position in Storm 1. Mike Rhodes Jr., Scott Pohl. It's Kevin Mitchell on 13. We'll take a look at them in just a sec.
Right now we're looking at Shannon with the front 8 up on lane 9. Front 7, sorry. Up on lane 9. And I think this is the lane that's going to be played in about 2 boards tighter. So expect to see her probably about 2-3 boards left of that last shot on 10.
Shannon trying to steal the show, looking for 8 in a row here. Got that one in a little bit, and it held as well.
She can't believe it either. You look at the look on her face. She's like, boy, I really got away with that one. Set it short a little bit, but when you have the right ball on the right part of the lane, shot making becomes secondary.
Billy Murphy, one lane to the right, still searching for his first strike of the night.
He's going to struggle to get to 110. He's got 3 marks, and the 3-6 is no gimme out here.
Well, Emil, now we kind of know what Lucas feels like sometimes when he's out there live streaming some big events, and he's got all of his cameras set up, and there's just so much going on. There's so many places to look. And, of course, you want to have your featured pairs and try to talk about everything and get a shot at everybody, and everybody in the chat room wants to see somebody else. And it's a little hectic. So maybe we're not quite as ready for the major leagues as we thought, but we'll do our best here tonight. We have not had a scene like this that I can remember. We also didn't have quite the same setup last year and the opportunity to show more than one thing at a time anyway. But we'll see. We get the hang of this, no problem.
Yeah, we're not going to be as good as Lucas because we all know he's the best. So that being said, we'll just try to do our best, and it's not going to be as good as the Lucas show, but, you know, we'll muddle through it. Try not to embarrass anybody.
Once again, the top spot in the regular team event, 34:01. Nicholas J's Pro Shop 2 from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Set that number early, and a lot of folks have been chasing that. Couple close calls. I know Andy Mills and the boys a little nervous a couple times, but still, second place, only 33:44. So some close calls. Ended up not so close after all when it was all said and done. But I would imagine some late nights for those guys. Keeping an eye on the 8:30 team event. And tonight for sure, some very talented players here looking to knock them off.
Waliczek up on 8. He's got himself a 4-bagger.
Yeah, he's coming through. The transition's starting to occur. They're starting to get a little more push down lane, so his ball's not reading so sharp off the pattern. So it's setting up better, going through the pins a lot better. So very nice strike by Linda Kelly. You know, just a classic timeless style, up and at 'em, nothing fancy, no frills or thrills, just consistent.
We're in the 9th frame here. You guys right now are watching lanes 9 and 10. Shane Pluhowski, Team USA left-hander, put on a show right now. Megan Kelly up on the right lane. Great shot there for 3 in a row. We'll take a quick look at that scoreboard if we can.
They got a really nice first game going here. Mike Irwin's struggling. He needs to pull it together here, strike out for 190. And Bob Kelly needs to strike out, but they can put up a high 10, 1100 easy first game. But we'll see if the lane's set up. I think they are too far in so far to start. I think they might trap themselves, but we'll see.
And there's a quick look at that as Mike Irwin with a strike there in the 9th frame. So Cindy Pluhowski going to step up now. She looks pretty loose tonight, just hanging out, laughing with her buddies out there, and hey, 8 in a row at the Open Championships, no big deal.
Not to her. Her mental game's so strong. She's one of the best for sure. That's out. Yep. And that ball just set up a little bit and died. Notice the 5-pin really just kind of moseyed over the 10. So great start though. Geez, 269 at worst if she doesn't open. 279. She picks it up here, takes it off the sheet. No, can't ask for much more for first game at the Open Championships, can you, Matty?
Well, I'm hoping for a night like this some point in my career. I know you're getting used to it, but I'm still yet to have that breakout. But at worst, I get to tell the stories of all you superstars, and that's almost as good. The opportunity to watch you take the lead there in 2010, of course, with a record all-event score 23-26, and the fact that you had no idea. I know you knew you were close, but you didn't know how close or even close to the record at that point. And then when you finally clicked, that was a pretty cool moment. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was so weird. I picked up the 7-pin, and I came back, and my the first teammate who I got to was Craig McDonald, great guy. He gave me a hug, and then I got back to Clayton Moore and Jason Barnhouse, and they go, "You broke the record." And I kind of collapsed. You can see it in the video, and it was just so overwhelming. I mean, it's a moment like that you can never put a price tag on as one of the best moments of my life. So you'll always be able to have that with you, and that's just because of the magic of the Open Championships. It's really a standout, standalone event. If you're going to bowl and you're going to compete and you want to have fun, you got to come out and bowl this thing. There's so much prestige, and it's a blast. So anybody who's thinking about bowling, come out on and bowl. I mean, it's an experience like no other.
Well, we almost had a repeat in 2011. There's a few things you didn't get done in 2010, so you figured, what the heck, let me do it in 2011. So we had you on the live stream, and we had a talk in 2010 about the missed opportunity on some sport honor score awards when you shot 299 and 806 in singles. And you were not going to make that mistake again, and you absolutely wanted to take advantage of your upgraded sport membership, and you did so on our broadcast. So trying to go for back-to-back all-events titles, you came out and shot 300, 822 in doubles after a pretty solid team event, and all of a sudden, the reality of 2 in a row was there. And of course, it was with the very same ball that you used the year before, that you hadn't used since the year before. And I think the ball change came late in game number 9. Maybe that comes 3 or 4 frames sooner, and you're the first person to repeat. But still finished third at 22.41. So 23.26, 22.41, back-to-back years. Kind of feel pretty good about that. And of course, you came back out this year again with the same ball. And just to see, obviously, you got to feel pretty confident with that ball in your hand anyway. And talked to us the other night about maybe not feeling as good about your swing and things right now. Struggled a little bit in team event last night, 792. So still ahead of pace from 2010. What's the thought right now, and what happened last night? And as far as equipment and such, and where are you mentally right now getting ready for doubles and singles?
Well, going back first to 2011, what happened there was lack of focus, lack of spare shooting. I talked to Riggles right after. I talked with you guys. The spare shooting is what really got me there. I pick up my spares, I win it back-to-back. That didn't happen. Lesson learned. It gave me a lot of motivation to work hard, especially mentally, and prepare for this year. Jumping ahead to this year, with the new team, with the Lakers, just the team environment so different. And not saying that it was a negative environment with the team before, because it wasn't. I had a great time, and they're a great group of guys, fine gentlemen all the way around. So I have nothing bad to say there. There's no bad blood or anything. But in the team transition there, the Lakers just have something magical about them, and and you can see that with all the Eagles that they have and all the things that they've won. There's no expectations, there's no pressure, it's very loose, and we love to have fun. I mean, that's our number one goal, go out and have fun. So I felt even more relaxed this year. I was able to bowl better, and I actually got to use my 900 global bankroll this year. The breakout just wasn't enough with how the pattern is this year, so I used the bankroll, I should say, pinned down at a N. 900 Global has a NEAT pad system, so I used the N pad. Thank you to the guys at the booth real quick. and that rolled great for me all night. So I was able to shoot 792. Looking forward to the next 6 games, one good shot at a time, basically, and just stay loose and have fun out there.
Well, I can tell you who's not having fun right now is Billy Murphy.
Yeah.
Rolling on 7-8. We have turned our attention back to the crew that we're here to see tonight. Again, a lot of surprises out here as far as who's bowling on this squad, but originally scheduled Billy Murphy and his teammates. Billy did strike in frame number 8 and another 5 count, but a spare there in the 9th frame. So he is he's going to break 100 this game, struggling for sure here in game number 1.
Well, this just isn't a pattern you can throw it right and expect the ball to strike. And Billy's kind of had that attitude right now with how he's playing the lane. He needs to move right, roll the ball, loosen up the swing, go to something that's going to read the pattern better, and it's going to become a lot easier game for him. Right now he's just trying to cross too many boards, I think.
Hate to see it happen to a better guy, though. I tell you that. He's always a pleasure to see him, especially during my collegiate days. Had some great matches against him and Corey, for that matter. Won some, lost some. You know how that goes. But always a class act on and off the lanes, and his program as well. So.
Well, it's going off of that. It's such a surprise to see him struggling, I should say, and not to get down on him or anything that he's playing the lanes wrong. But that being said, I guess it's a little shocking from a guy who is very talented and very knowledgeable of the game to see how he's playing the lanes. So that might be a reason why, or it could be something we're not seeing up in the booth. He could have some physical ailments or, just not feeling good out there tonight. And that happens. That's bowling.
Well, as we know here at the Open Championships, one guy does not make a team. So luckily, Mr. Murphy has surrounded himself with a very, very talented supporting cast. As you just saw, Corey Simmons, former Team USA member, big strike for a double. And Brian Waliczek, also a former collegiate star and PBA champion, with a big strike there. So he has definitely found his groove as well. So now if they can get Billy on board, it's going to turn out to be a pretty solid night.
Yeah, April Ellis throws it phenomenal. She's a great player, very talented. And she's actually slimmed down quite a bit in recent years, really promoting her physical health, and in the fact that she can slim down a little bit, become a little healthier. She's straightened up her arm swing because she doesn't have mass to go around. So that being said, her arm swing straightened up, and boy, can she throw. Very nice young lady, really a lot of talent. And, you got to expect at least 680, 690, 700 out of her. She's throwing it so good.
Well, she also just came off a pretty exciting week at the USBC Queens. Had some success there, so has to feel pretty good about how she's throwing it. Former USBC employee, now off to Wichita to explore a new professional opportunity. So best wishes to her, but good to see her back here on the lanes at the Open Championships, trying to lead her team into the lead. 34.01, the number on top. So that's a biggie. So we will see. We are towards the end of game number 1 here. The 10th frame just getting underway, so we'll have a look at the scoreboards in just a minute. And one pair to the right, Sandy Pluhowski and her team, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly, her husband Bob Kelly, and their daughter Megan Kelly. Just shot 1076 to get started here in game number 1. So that's what we talked about earlier, is as important as it is to open the lanes up for down the road, games 2 and 3. If you can pop off a big one in game number 1, then you definitely have a head start towards a solid number. Of course, that's true anytime, but we've seen a lot of teams struggle trying to get the lanes opened up just right. And 1076, among the highest first games that we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, it's a great start. We'll see what happens these next 2 games. My personal prediction is they started too far in, so I think they might get trapped, but we'll see if they can go around it and create a little hole in front of the pocket, which I think might be starting to disappear halfway, 3/4 the way through this game. But let's stay tuned here because it's going to be exciting. We'll see how the lanes transition and what really happens.
And a quick update on lanes 13 and 14. things kind of up and down over there for Mike Rose Jr. and his crew. We'll start up top there. The Royce Rusher looks like he's got a 6-bagger. So he's well, let's take a look at the scoreboard. How about that, Emil? Quick on the camera. So there's that. Take a quick look there. That way I don't have to read it to you. You know what's going on. Mike Gaither, the leader of this group, I would say, in recent years, struggling here with 1 strike in the first 9 frames. So you can get him on board as well. Looks like Rusher going to lead things here. And Mike Rose Jr. also having trouble not throwing a double here tonight, but we've seen him shoot 21, 2200 pretty regularly in recent years. So not a big surprise if he comes out pretty huge the rest of the way. So we'll have our eyes on them.
Oh, once the lanes open out, those guys, once they open up, they can really light them up. So, it's just trying to survive these first couple games here. But once they burn out, Mike Rose really starts to shine. He can get in, especially with that vapor zone that he loves to use out here, and he put up a lot of numbers.
I think I would like to see a match one day. Well, we should have set it up while you were here. Maybe up on the showcase lanes upstairs. Matt McNeil and the Global Breakout, and Mike Rose Jr. and his Brunswick Vapor Zone. Those 2 balls have helped you guys do a lot of success here at the Open Championships in recent years. Mike, of course, won the All Events title in 2007 and took the lead again in 2008, only to finish 3rd, I believe, was his final resting spot that year. But he definitely has become the closest to back-to-back titles that I've seen with the very same ball. So maybe we could take some wagers on that or do something creative upstairs when you guys are all done bowling. That would be kind of interesting.
I would be all for it. And I'm sure Mike would be too. We're pretty good friends, and I think it'd be a lot of fun.
While we have this opportunity, we did mention the showcase lanes. We have 48 lanes down here in the main area of the Baton Rouge River Center, and of course the world's largest mobile scoreboard to go along with it. An awesome venue here at the River Center, but upstairs for the first time we have 4 specially installed lanes up there just specifically for practicing on the tournament condition, the very same lane surface, oil, lane machine, you name it, to simulate the exact conditions that you'll face down here at the Open Championships. So 4 lanes set up upstairs, and you have the opportunity to go out there with up to 9 of your teammates, so up to 10 people have the chance to practice on the showcase lanes for an hour. And if you come during prime time, it's $125 for the 10 of you. Split that up. And in off-peak hours, $90. So you can't really put a price on that at all, but we have. So a lot of folks taking advantage of that opportunity. And also, as a bonus, Bill Hall, USBC silver level coach, available to help you out, give you some tips for a few dollars extra to help your team talk a little bit of strategy and equipment and what's working here at the Open Championships. He's been here every day with us, so definitely an expert. But if you just want to get loose, get used to the environment, the high ceilings, the bright lights, you can do that upstairs, so check it out. You can find information about that on bowl.com. Just visit the Open Championships page. But Mr. McNeil, I believe you had a session on the practice lanes. Tell us about that experience and how that helped you, or how that was similar or different for what you faced in your team event last night.
Well, Matt, I can't stress for all the teams coming out here how important that team practice session is on the showcase lanes. The showcase lanes are playing very, very true to what you're going to see when you take the lanes at the convention center here. It's maybe, and I'm really splitting hairs here, a board and a half tighter than what you're going to see out here, maybe, and that's really splitting hairs. But the best thing about it is it's an opportunity for your team to get together, practice, develop a plan, practice, and put the plan into motion. So you can meet up, you get in your hour. Definitely recommend the hour with Bill Hall. He's so knowledgeable. He's such a great coach. It's money well spent, without a doubt. So we had a great experience. We developed a plan. We stuck to it. And I had 790, and we're in 5th. And our other team is in 16th.
Yeah, they bowled very well.
So a great pair of cashers up on the board. Can't be disappointed with that at all. So our money was very well spent out there.
All right, so there you have it. We've been talking about that all year long, the benefit of the showcase lanes upstairs to help you get situated here at the Open Championships. And finally, we've heard somebody who actually used them so far. I do have my own scheduled for next Saturday night at 8 p.m., I believe is our time to go out there and see what we can do as we get ready to take the lanes next Sunday afternoon. So right now, we'll turn our attention back to lanes 7 and 8 here at the River Center. Corey Simmons stepping up on the left lane. Strike here gives him 192. So a little bit of a rough start for the Wichita crew here. Wichita Bowling Supply. Maggie Smith, 198. Katie Verbal, 176. Anne-Marie Kurros, 168. April Ellis, however, a big 236 game. So she's leading the way there. And on the bottom half of the scoreboard there, Richard Renelay, 192. James Hall, 183. Billy Murphy, 141. Corey Simmons does strike for 192. And now Brian Waliczek's going to step up on the left and try to close things out here. He did find something after about 3 frames, and he struck in 5 of the last 6 frames, so he's looking a lot more comfortable. Again, once that pattern started to calm down a little bit and they smoothed it out a little, a very good reaction from Mr. Waliczek, so expecting big things from him tonight.
Yeah, he's throwing it really well. Like I said, that's in.
And as soon as you say that, through the face, 3-6-10.
Yep, he knew it. It's 10th frame at Nationals, first game. You got to strike up to shoot something, and there's a lot of pressure here. So make your spare. Get all 10 on the next ball. Every pin counts, and starting with 192-1 out here is never a bad deal.
Well, the stands are full, and we've got almost 450 people watching at home. So, of course, Matt McNeil and his crew coming up next. Lynn's Lakers are bowling at 11:30 tonight in the same general area that we're watching right now. And some local folks have come out to see some really good bowling as well. This is event open to the public, so come by, check it out, and see some excellent bowlers in the stands as well. Rob Godsall and some Wisconsin guys checking things out. Eric Pearson, the USBC Women's Championships tournament manager, will be in this week, and he has a pretty talented group put together. I know he's been practicing very hard out there in Reno to get ready, so we'll have our eyes on them. It's going to be a busy weekend for sure, and I don't think anybody's going to let up on us tonight, no doubt. Emil and I will be here to the wee hours of the night, and I guarantee something's going to happen. We'll be writing a story tonight, and we'll be ready. And if you'd like to find that news, definitely check out bowl.com tomorrow for all the latest and greatest scores, pictures, news, notes, you name it. And, of course, Twitter. And I'll let Emil handle the social networking side of things. He is an expert about what we do and where we are. As real quick, we see Wichita Bowling Supply with 9-16 and 9-23 in game number 1. So rough start, but not unheard of. A couple solid games here to get them in good position. And then in just a moment, we'll get the final scores from a few lanes over, where Jerry Casebolt, Kevin Mitchell, Mike Rose, and those guys are wrapping up game number 1. So Emil, take it away.
Well, you can find us, of course, on Facebook, while we are all over the place. Facebook. You can find us the Sport, USBC, all over the place there. So please like us, like the page on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. Twitter, the fastest way, quickest way to get the headlines, get the latest news and notes. Twitter handle is at USBC. Again, that's at USBC. Also, Matt Cannizzaro has his own Facebook fan page. You can find Matt Cannizzaro and USBC fan page there as well. Matthew has not ventured into the Twitter world, but I can be found there. That is at EWJR. So well connected, well versed in the social media world. So feel free to leave a comment if you have some questions, suggestions, all of the above. Just want to look for some news, know what's happening. You can definitely find it there, especially on Matt's Facebook page. He periodically posts other things outside of the tournament, just some daily livelihood, and see how we are doing here in Baton Rouge. Is just over halfway through here at the Open Championships, the 2012 edition.
How about that? Feels like we just got here, actually. We're just moving in. We're actually with roomies there for a little while as we got to town here in Baton Rouge and got settled in, and it was just Super Bowl Sunday, and now all of a sudden here we are. It's almost May 1st, and again the halfway point just passed.
And May 1st is the official day almost, because 7 days from May 1st, if I'm not mistaken, might even be May 7th, Mr. Cannizzaro hits the lanes.
Well,
is that correct?
It is almost correct. Maybe we should keep it that way so people aren't looking out, but we actually hit the lanes at 2:30 on May 6th, and doubles and singles on May 7th. And we'll have our practice session, as I mentioned, next Saturday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So we'll see how that night turns out.
You're going to have a practice session on that day?
We're going to do our best to have a practice session. We got to keep our focus, so you only get one shot at it here at the Open Championships. Of course, this year's event kicked off on February 11th. We've been here for almost 80 days, keeping our eye on things, and now it's time. I'm taking some notes right now. Corey Simmons right there on lane 7 goes high, leaves the 2-4. Shane Pluhowski now stepping up on the right side of your screen on lane 9. Great shot there, gets the 7 out, and Matt McNeil in the booth with us, so probably 3 of the best left-handers that we'll have in the tournament this year. Definitely making me sweat a little bit up here, and I don't know, I'm a little nervous, but again, as I was told today, it's just bowling. Go out there, have a good time with your buddies, relax. Don't worry about the fact that it's the biggest stage in the sport. Don't worry about the banners hanging over the lanes. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about the eagle in the trophy case, nothing. Just focus, do what you do. Get in that mindset that, hey, this is just another day, another 9 games is what I was told. Just go out there and do what you know how to do. And I will do my best.
If only it was that easy.
And just to catch everybody up, Storm 1, I believe, is the name of the team with Jerry Casebolt, Kevin Mitchell. They shot 988 here in game number 1, and Mike Rose and Scott Pohl, pole position, shot 1,008, and they're striking here in game 2, so again, we'll keep our eyes on them. But a lot of action here at the Open Championships on this lovely Saturday. Is today Saturday?
Today is Saturday.
Today is Saturday. I have no idea. Again, we have 2 days here at the Open Championships, opening day and closing day, and everything else is just bowling in between. So we come to work until the bowlers stop coming is basically how it works. Yeah, we don't know where to look tonight. A lot of excitement, a lot of great bowlers. So we'll keep you posted, and some folks in the chat room with some questions. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So a lot of things happening here.
Yeah, Billy started out the second game with a strike, and I think he's starting to calm down. That experience and knowledge that he has, he can draw upon, and really hope that he can turn it around here and develop something positive, get a good rhythm this second game. It's very important out here, rhythm. You You need rhythm to keep you going, to keep the mental, positive things going. And, if you can create a good rhythm and stay in it, you can shoot a big number out here.
That's a good word there, rhythm. Once you get in rhythm, it's usually lights out for everybody. When you get into that, not necessarily the zone, but if you're just in a good rhythm, the swing's feeling good, tempo's good, that kind of thing. It's a lot easier to make quality shots as opposed to when you're uncomfortable, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's very true.
Somebody in the chat room just asked, hey, if I throw the ball like Shannon, out of all the left-handers that we mentioned, do I throw the ball most like her? And I wish I threw the ball 1/50th as good as her.
Are they talking about you?
Yeah, talking about me. Who am I going to watch? Who am I really going to study to get an idea of what I want to do when I get out there? And I wish 1/50th as well as her would be nice. But again, my goal always is to get within 400 pins of Matt McNeil. So the numbers out there, 792 in team event, a head start on me for sure. But I'll do my best. So here's another left-hander up on lane 7, Katie Verbal. And she misses left. So at least the 1-3-6-10. I guess it's pretty easy to throw the ball right through the break point. Just gets your body angle wrong, and of course a little bit of surface on the ball, and it's not going to really react when it hits that friction. And as you saw there, that's basically what happened. So early in the night, the surface is going to help the ball not overreact, but then you have to be careful. Of course, you don't want it to underreact either. So it's part of the challenge of a sport condition and the Open Championships. You just have to throw good shots. And unfortunately, that was not one, and that happens as well. But I don't know, Matt. You bowled last night. If you're gonna miss, which obviously nobody wants to miss, but at least on the left side, what is your best option? I mean, some of the righties break you down enough where they can miss right and still get the ball back, and maybe the middle smooths out after a little while. But ideally, where's your miss need to be?
Well, the good miss out here is really probably kind of the chili dip or the chunk in with speed. If your misses can be in with not a whole lot of hand, and you've created a little push down there, you're going to leave a 4-pin or a 6-pin. Hopefully not 4-9 or 6-8, but that's really the best miss in. Missing out is not a good option here. You're always going to look at a washout. So if you're going to miss, if you can make those foul line adjustments for just kind of a bad release, tug it in a couple boards, maybe give it a little extra zip, you should do all right. So Shannon already seeing the push that I think she was going to encounter here because she doesn't have enough surface. She's not going direct enough. So what she's actually done is given herself a carry down at the spot, and now the ball isn't coming back like it was during the first game. So, she goes wrap 7, misses it, double through the face, leaves a 7-8, and just chop that. So surface very important. It's very important how you break the lanes down out here.
Doug, you might have some intriguing questions over in the chat room area.
Well, they're looking for a scoreboard shot, but we are just into game number 2 here. So we'll give it a couple more frames before we look up top and see what's going on. Wichita Bowling Supply, the folks that we came here to see tonight, 916 and 923, and our bonus, our lucky bonus coverage here, one pair over. Shani Pluhowski, team 1076, and Capri 2, their companion team 913, and then a few lanes down, Storm 1 in pole position, 1008 and 988. So,
and watch out for pole position. That's Scott Pohl and Mike Rose. They had 1,008, but they played them decent. Not great, but decent. And now the guys are starting to bump in and strike, especially Scotty and Mike being the veterans that they are. So I won't be surprised to see 11.5 this game. I honestly won't.
It will be, quote unquote, the norm, if you will, from what we usually see here in the team event. Again, if you can get to plus on that first game, you're already kind of ahead of the game so far. Only a couple of teams have started out with 1,100. But if you can get to just plus to begin with, and then set yourself up for the second game and shoot an 11.5, you got some things going. You're cooking with some oil, to say the least.
That's very true.
Now looking up and down the venue here, I see a lot of 7s and 8s in game number 1. There's 1,000 down on 31 and 32. Other than that, not a lot of huge scores here. Again, we've been talking about it all night. Game 1 is tough, and again, we're seeing that here.
Absolutely. Down on lane 40, looks like first bowler has spare, next 3. Then we got the next 2 bowlers with the front 4. 4-hole bowler has spare, double. Some strikes happening on lane 40. Still early here. Looks like they got to 900 at least.
Yeah, it goes back to using that showcase pair. I think if you can use that showcase pair, develop a plan out here, you're going to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that so many teams that we're watching right now are encountering. So I promise to all you out there, come out here, pay for the showcase lanes. They'll pay for themselves.
Now, did you guys, I know a lot of teams actually simulate team event from a practice standpoint, 10 minutes, and then, you monitor that, cut it off, and then you go do that. Did you guys take care of that, do that too as well?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
The gal out there, very nice young gal, helped us out that. She set her timer on her cell phone, helped us out. It was great. So we had the plan, did it for 10 minutes, then we just pretended like we were bowling the game. And then we actually took a vote because we broke both lanes down differently. We did different things on them, and so then we had a team vote on how we wanted to do it. So every guy gets a say on our team, and that's just another great aspect of our team.
All right, so we'll take a look again here at Katie Verbal, and she misses left again.
Yeah, she's getting a little too loopy, and she's scratching the head there. What's happening? I'm not seeing the ball read the lanes right. Corey's using a shiny ball. That's going to push the oil down. She's using something a little more matte finish. She's given Corey Corey has given Katie some carry down out there. So Katie's ball is skating through the point. So Katie needs to actually probably move a couple boards left, try to roll the ball a little more, go a little more up and at them. And if she felt like helping, go ahead. If she felt like helping me and Chuck out for doubles, they could just throw plastic up, 10-12 for next half hour. So I wouldn't mind that either.
Well, of course, for the last time, at least in the near Open Championship future, who you follow a factor on the tournament lanes. But starting next year, 2013 Open Championships, we head back to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada with a brand new look. And we'll have a new schedule. The team events now will be back-to-back at 3 and 7 p.m. And, of course, the highlight of 2013 now, fresh oil for every squad. So, again, as Matt is here watching the lanes that he'll be going to for doubles and singles next year, that won't matter. Fresh oil for every squad. And the new schedule will have doubles and singles at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m. So just 3 squads. And why, do you ask, Emil? Because we're going from 4 on a pair to 6 on a pair. 6 bowlers on 1 pair of lanes next year. And you will not flip between doubles and singles. So you bowl all 6 games on the same pair, all 6 of you. That's going to slow down the pace for some of our older bowlers who have commented on surveys and suggestions that maybe the pace is a little too quick. then, of course, with 6 on a pair, we'll have the ability to have less doubles and single squads, which, of course, frees up some time for fresh oil every squad. So look for that in 2013. If you're not registered already, we encourage you to do so as soon as possible. Times are filling up, of course, at 11 a.m. prime time now for doubles and singles. So get on to bowl.com, get your team together. We can do everything online now. Very cool new system that allows you to go in and register, make your payment, and select your times immediately. That is the next big feature for the future, is that once you pay, you can select your times from what's available real time, just like as if you were going to book a flight or buy some concert tickets. You get to select from what's there. The minute you pay, the minute you pick. And you can find all that on bowl.com. Go to the Open Championship page, click on the Register Now tab to find out more information about how to get signed up for next year. And we look forward to that. So always keeping us on our toes. Again, headed back to Reno next year. And, of course, another great feature, the Women's Championships will be right across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. 44 lanes being built especially for those ladies. And the opportunity to travel as a family, both events. If you are a woman, and some family options and some different mixed events possibly on the horizon as well. So look for all of that and more on bowl.com. 2013 Open and Women's Championships. And there is my sales pitch, and I'm worn out.
I'll back that up, Matt, because what the tournament's doing, I think, is going in a really good direction. You're making the tournament very bowler friendly with you can sign up online, you can pay online, you can do all these things very easily. It's not so reservation heavy. You got to do paperwork, this, that, and the other thing, put a down payment, blah, 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 blah. So United States Bowling Congress is really doing a great job in making it friendly for the bowlers. Even new bowlers. If you think you got a team of guys who want to come out here and bowl, trust me, it's worth every penny. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to. USBC isn't paying me. Well, not yet, anyways. But they're not paying me to advertise. This is just coming from my personal experience. Seriously, come on out here, and it's an experience like none other, and it's well worth it. If anything, it's just a great reason to get away with your friends and enjoy some bowling. But on top of that, the fresh conditioning takes all the ambiguity out of the tournament. There's no more, I got a bad draw, and that wrecked my minors, and that's why I didn't win. That is done. So it really focuses more on working together as a team, building a shot, setting a shot up. And I think it's going to promote better bowling, more cohesion among bowlers, and it's a great concept. I'm really looking forward to it next year. I can't wait.
Now I'm coming up on the end of my rookie contract, if you will. It's my 3rd year. But talking to some other veterans, tournament staff and bowlers, I believe this is not the first time team events have gone back-to-back as well. So it'll be interesting to see from someone who hasn't seen that. But
well, of course, in the old days, it was a little bit different. They were back-to-back. 7 and 10:30, I believe, was the times for that. But the second one did not get fresh oil. So that, of course, was another factor back in the old days that determined some different things and different outcomes here at the Open Championships. And then starting in 2003, fresh oil for every team squad, the great equalizer for the team event. And now we're going all the way in 2013. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you're going to see the cream rise to the top, of course. Even more so now that you're taking the ambiguity out of it with the whole draw system. Look at last year. I'll just use myself as an example. I get to my pair. I just shot 820. I had a couple gentlemen that I followed on the left side who changed the lane condition and as such that I didn't score very well. That's my fault. I should have made the ball change sooner. But I get another fresh condition. I could have probably shot another 820. Who knows? But that being said, I think it's great that we're taking the ambiguity out of the draw system.
Of course, try to make it as fair all around. for our bowlers, of course, and no better way than to have everybody compete, of course, on the same fresh condition on every squat.
Yeah, there's just no excuses then. You didn't pull good, you didn't pull good. You know, it's no longer I got a bad draw. That's done and over with.
All right, so we'll turn our attention back to the reason we're here, Wichita Bowling Supply. Trying to get it done here on lane 7 and 8 at the Baton Rouge River Center. We saw April Ellis up on the left lane. Sporting the orange and blue, Go Gators, leaves a 7-pin. She shot 236 in game number 1 to lead the charge here. 916 for her team, 923 for their companion team. Now we'll take a look at Don Anderson stepping up on the left lane, looking for his first strike here in game number 2. Do appreciate everybody joining us on the broadcast tonight. Matt Canizaro, Emil Williams Jr., and Matt McNeil checking in the very first time. We have a 3-man booth at the Open Championships.
Yeah, for all you those joining in, you're in for a real treat. We've got a lot of great bowlers out here. And, of course, we got the triple threat up in the booth here, so cannot go wrong. And just watching 7 and 8 here, my observations, that's the pair I'm going to be on for doubles with Chuck. It looks like the breakout beam might be making another appearance here. It looks like Corey and Katie are going to work him over pretty good, so I can use something a little less aggressive. So might be time to break out with the breakout again.
Maddie's going to break out the breakout. And, that was under lock and key, as I understand it, after 2010, and you broke it out for 2011. Another solid effort, and let's see what these guys can do for you on 7 and 8. And, every time I look over there, it's looking like trouble, but when I'm not looking, there's strikes on the board, so maybe I'll stop paying attention to what they're doing. As Anne-Marie Curro's stepping up on the right lane again.
That's a good shot out there. Good shot.
She's thrown several good shots, actually. I've seen her leave a couple of 10 pins. And then the pair to the right, of course, with Miss Kulhowski. They're kind of breezing through here in the second game, already in the 7th frame.
Yeah, they're starting to fly a little bit. I think the jitters are wearing off. They're starting to get into more of a rhythm. So we'll see how it goes here.
And another miscue on lane 8 as Anne-Marie misses her 10-pin. So that, of course, as we know, cannot miss bears here on the biggest stage, really on any stage. So they're going to talk that one over. As James Hall steps up on the left, working on a strike. He opened in the first 3 frames here in game 2. And misses the head pin right, leaves a 1-2-8.
It's just too much shine out there, and you can't start in that place of the lane. At least I think. But watch April on lane 8. She's going to be a little more rollier, a little more direct, a little more speed. Set up. Oh, yeah. See? And that's a big thing. You really got to go up and at them versus, covering boards. April's just proving it out there. Boy, she's really throwing it very nice.
Spare there for James Hall. Now we get another look at Don Anderson stepping up on the right. Billy Murphy talking things over with April, getting ready to get up on the left lane. He's working on a strike and 3 spares. He's almost beat his last game, started with 141. But seems to be getting a little more comfortable as the night progresses. And Emil had the opportunity to talk to Billy before the competition tonight to see what's in the bag, what's the strategy. Emil, what do they have to say?
Well, their strategy wasn't too much different from everyone else, just about. They wanted to play outside, especially during practice, of course, try to break it down a little bit. And They wanted to play out there until they couldn't play anymore. Until they were forced to move left. Whether or not they did that, not sure. Things got a little tough for them very early in the first game, so they ran into trouble quickly. But like we talked about, might have been a choice of ball selection and services and things like that. But they, for the most part, tried to play pretty straight. They thought their group as a whole would be able to play, for the most part, outside for a decent amount of time. So Billy actually, in his bag, said he was throwing a Columbia 300 benchmark, dark encounter, a ricochet, a momentum, and a burst. See, Brian Waliczek also gave us what would be in his bag. He also said, or I should say, an original encounter, in Omen, 2 virtual energies and a Brunswick Ultimax. So a little variety right there from Mr. Waliczek. And April, of course, throwing some hammer equipment to the Jet Black Taboo, an original Taboo, an Epidemic, and a Black Widow Bite. So we got some Columbia, some Hammer, some Ebonite International, and Brian out of the 3 with perhaps the most versatile bag as far as brands are concerned. A couple of Columbia 300 balls, a couple of virtual energies, of course, by Storm, and a Brunswick Ultimax. Right now, that looks to be an Omen, I think.
Yeah, that is an Omen. Good eye there.
That's an Omen for a 4-bagger. So Waliczek starts strong here in game number 2. Spare 4-bagger. So he is, again, we saw him get comfortable about 4 frames into game number 1. And that continuing here in game 2. Now if he could just get the rest of the team on board.
See, that was a lot better just by James there. You notice he went more up the lane that shot. He just did give it away, rolled it nice, and boy, that ball finished really nice. You know, if you can go up the lane, up and at him, you're going to do very, very well out here. Of course, there is the time when you have to open them up, but game 2 definitely is not in. Let's see if Billy can follow James's lead out there. Try to go a little more up and at him, which it looks like he's been doing the last couple frames, and I think that's why he's clean so far.
Mr. Murphy, head coach at Newman University in Wichita, Kansas. Good shot.
Yeah, good shot out there. See, made a ball change. You know, not crossing so many boards, not giving away so much, and really smart guy, very knowledgeable, class act like you were saying before. So it's only really a matter of time before he figured it out there.
I think what we've, at least what I've realized and what I've noticed, during my, I guess, 2.5 years now, the term is just about half over, but the lead is the lead, of course, and, there may come a point, obviously, where mathematically you might not get there. You just need a humongous number, and realistically, it might not happen. But a lot of teams also come in with a set goal that they'd like to shoot in team, and it might be 3,200, it might be 3,250, or what have you. And so I think every team's success is defined by what they think and what their goals were. Not everybody's going to take the lead, but I'm sure you're happy with 3,258. And I'm sure these teams out here that we're watching also have some goals that they came in here with, so if they can reach those, although we don't know what those are, but if they can reach those, I think it'll be a successful team trip.
And just to go off that, set good, reasonable goals for yourself. My goal this year for myself was 2,000. Just looking at the pattern, just looking at how left-handers had done before. You go out and shoot 2,000, that's a great tournament. So, set reasonable goals for yourself, and anything beyond that as a bonus. But, really come out here with a plan. You come out here with a plan, you have good, honest goals for yourself, you're going to do very well, and you're going to have a lot of fun, which is the most important part.
Yeah, fun is key. You got to have some fun, and fun helps ease the nerves, ease the tension a little bit.
And while we have a chance, we are closing in on the second half, or the end of game number 2 here at the Baton Rouge River Center. We'll scan the scoreboard. We'll start with lanes 7 and 8, our featured pair tonight, Wichita Bowling Supply. And Emil's going to zoom in. We'll see how things are going. We're in the 6th frame, and things looking a little bit better than game number 1. There's Brian Waliczek looking for 5 in a row.
That's a good shot out there. Just got it in just a tick, and ball just didn't finish, or he might have not got it all at the bottom. So still a good shot. You know, everything out here is one frame at a time. And whether you got 9 in a row or coming off an open, the next shot you throw is the same no matter what you got behind you. So one frame at a time, make good shots, make your spares.
And we'll shift our attention over to the scoreboard on 9 and 10. Sandy Pilhowski throwing all kinds of strikes here tonight. A couple of opens, though. One of those a 7-pin here in game number 2. But a very solid start for her team, Capri Lanes. Megan Kelly shooting 250 in that game. Shannon starting with the front 8, I believe it was.
Yeah, and you know, like I was alluding to before, Matt, what we're seeing out here is they started out with 1070, but now look at all the holes. We're seeing a lot of spares, a few doubles here and there, but a lot of players are looking at 2-0, 190 because they started in. They really jailed themselves up early. Boy, any team who's watching this is really in for a treat because you can see what happens if you don't play them properly from the start. You saw all these players going on 9-10. They're really going right up the track area, 9-12. And now it looks like they gave themselves some over-under where they get it right, it doesn't hook back, they get it left, and it's snap hooks on them. So, you know, I think that's why we're going to see them have a lower game this game versus their start because they all started too far in. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
All right, now we have our look at the scoreboard on lanes 13 and 14. And somebody spelling challenged Storm in 1. The team name there up top in pole position on lane 14. Some familiar names, and of course Mike Rose Jr. with the Eagle next to his name, 2007. Regular all events champ. Rose yet to double here tonight, I believe. But a lot of strikes there up top, but 988 and 1008, that might not be enough, I guess, as we talked about earlier in game number 1, but we'll see. Just like last night, we saw 1261 shot on the tournament lanes, highest game of the year, and the tied for 6th highest in history. So anything can happen once the lanes open up, so I'm not going to count anybody out at this point, but they certainly have a lot of work ahead of them as well.
Yeah, they certainly do. Storm number 1 looks like they got a good cohesion going right now. Pole position is struggling as I thought they would not. I really thought second game would be their bread and butter, and you got a lot of guys on 190, 180 pace with a couple of slashes in there, so that's tough. Hopefully they can turn it around too.
All right, so as we close in on the end of game number 2, again, those of you just joining us, Matt Canizaro, Emil Williams Jr., and Matt McNeil. 3-man booth tonight here at the 2012 USBC Open Championships. We're tuning in to see Wichita Bowling Supply, previously on the schedule from day 1. And we got some bonus action here tonight. Shannon Blahowski, 1 pair over, and Mike Rose Jr. and his teams, a couple pairs over from that. So, of course, we'll spend much of our time here on the pair that we came to see, but of course also keep you posted on what's happening around us. How could we not? So again, thank you everybody for checking out the action tonight, and in just 1 hour, Matt McNeil will take the lanes for his doubles and singles after shooting 792 in the team event last night, 12 pins ahead of his torrid 2010 pace, in which he shot a record 23-26 all event score. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Megan Kelly has been perhaps the most consistent, if you will, but she's had a phenomenal start thus far. She got 258 on the first game. She had one open thus far, but it looks like she can punch out for 233 in the second game as they start the 10th frame here on 9 and 10.
Yeah, Megan throws it really good. She gets around the ball very nice, gets through it, gets the ball down lane. So really good game. She can punch out here for 230, 233. Emil?
Well, we'll take one more look here at April Ellis, again sporting the orange and blue. Go Gators. She leaves the 3-6. There goes high on lane 8. Much appreciated. Wearing the right colors here tonight on the live stream broadcast, April. And we'll let her pick up her spare, and then we'll turn our attention to the 10th frame for Capri Lanes. And we'll see how things turn out here in game 2 for those guys.
Jared Casebones making some things happen for Storm in 1, lane 13. 4-bagger spare on the strike. He's up now. Shot looks pretty good. Runs through the face though, leaves a 3-6.
Just a little soft, Good shot though.
All right, so here we are. We're taking a peek at lanes 9 and 10. That was Mandy Wilson closing things out on the left lane for 193. Now we'll see Angie Trigo step up. And USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly up on the right, working on a pair of opens, looking to finish strong here.
That was a good shot there.
That was great right there. That's
a good shot.
That was about as good as you can get.
Yep. And that's just timeless style right there. I mean, that's why she's been bowling so good for so long. Not to date anybody here, but just a timeless style. I mean, very simple, a nice gravity swing. If you're looking for longevity in the sport, look at guys like Norm Duke, Walter Ray, Pete Weber, guys who use a gravity swing. They don't use a lot of muscles. They don't use a lot of knees, a lot of backs. Just a nice, free, timeless style.
Of course,
that's going to sit. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. Of course, Linda is USBC Hall of Famer, of course, and just had the class of 2012 inductees USBC Hall of Fame a couple of days ago.
Deservingly so, too.
Congratulations to all those newly inducted Hall of Famers. Very diverse class, very diverse group.
Trying to finish it up here for 171, lane 10. Good shot again. There you go.
Yeah, Emil, you talked about the recent Hall of Famers. Of course, if you want to find out more about that or what happened at the USBC annual meeting and convention this week, you can find all that on bowl.com. Just go to the main page, and all kinds of good news stories, and many of those stories with great videos attached by Matt Lawson, working hard at headquarters, trying to bring you some visuals to all of these great things that are happening. And of course, on the right side of your screen, on the main page of bowl.com, the live stream schedule. Up next, Lucas Wiseman headed to the PABCON Champion of Champions on May 9th and 10th and 11th. How about that? Lucas is going to be busy next week. Of course, I'll be busy here taking my shot at the Open Championships. And then later next week, we'll see recent USBC Hall of Famers, Lenny Boris Jr. and Gary Darashevsky come through town.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot by Megan there on lane 10. She can take it off the sheet here for, what, 2-0 or 230?
233.
All right. I haven't quite got accustomed to the very nice and fancy scoreboards out here, so.
She can take it out for 233. Couple that with a nice 258 she had in the first game. Things are looking on the up and up for Megan.
Yeah, she's cruising right along.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, look how nice she gets through the ball, just gets it down the lane, and you know, that shot was about 3 boards left. but they've created that push in there, so she could take advantage of that. So, boy, just a...
Her reaction base said that she didn't really like it, but it was online, so it was around the same break point that Linda's was.
Yep. You know, because it was 2-3 boards left, she didn't like it. She thought it might go high, but, you know, she got through it so nice, and they created a little push up there, so it sat there high flush. And she's, you know, very nice 230 here, and if you put a lot of money on the bracket table, I'd feel pretty good right now.
Good shot for Billy Murphy, who's on lane 8.
Mm-hmm.
Billy is clean still.
Yep. And he's made the moves. As we see Megan finishing up with 233 there. Billy's made the correct moves. He's gotten himself under control. He's got the right ball in his hands, making good shots. The Billy Murphy we'd all expect right now.
Of course, every day working here, Matt, we see Hall of Famers, great bowlers, Open Championships legends, Eagle winners, of course, but at least in my experience, rarely do we have this many on one squad. Now, of course, you usually get a couple of teams or maybe 3, but just like we have now. I mean, the group of 10 from Wichita, this group of 10 here, Linda Kelly, Megan Kelly, Shannon Puhowski, and then the group of 10 here with Storm in 1 and pole position. It's rarely do we get opportunities like this, and especially to have the chance to get this out to the world, and then they're able to share what we see with us this evening. So, of course, thank you for coming up as well.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and like you said, it's always a pleasure to be in the company of such great talent out here, because you know, you can watch these guys, you learn from them. The only way to get better is to bowl with better bowlers. You guys are just get a first-class seat because you get to see it every day. So I really envy you. You guys got great jobs. So.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, what happened here? Oh, he's all right. All right, so back at 9 and 10 here. Shannon Plowski's coming up in the 10th frame, lane 10. You know, possible 225 here. Big first shot here. What she's done is actually move a couple left. She's created some push for herself the first game, so she moved left, trying to find a little more recovery, and let's see what she does here. You really, at this stage, when you forced yourself a little further left, you really got to make sure to get through the ball, trust it, not short it, because the minute you do, it's going to go through the face. So here we go. Good shot. Oh, yeah. Nice shot from a veteran. Next shot here, we'll put her in the 220s. If she can get it.
Shannon throwing a lot of strikes here so far tonight. Started game 1 with front 7 or front 8.
Oh boy.
I can't remember. She did not like that one at all. Leaves the baby split to 2-7.
Immediate right off her hand, and just as what I was talking about, when you get further left, you really got to make sure to trust that ball and not short it, because on the pattern this year versus previous years, if you get it right, that ball's going to go through the face. So very important to trust them all. I think it was the late, great Billy Waylew who said, trust is a must or your game is a bust. And that couldn't be truer than out here on the championship lanes at the USBC Open Championships. Still a good game, though. 2-12.
So Shannon on her field ball there, or her spare attempt, I guess, went to something a little bit shiny, and saw definitely a big back-end reaction there. So maybe there's a move right and a ball change in store for her. We'll see. They finished that game with 985. Capri 2, 967. So we'll turn our attention right now back to our featured teams for tonight. Wichita Blowing Supply, and while we'll do that, we'll also keep our eye on Stormin' 1 in pole position, striking it up on lanes 13 and 14. We don't want to miss out on anything, but there certainly is a lot going on here at the River Center tonight.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Matt. They started a striking frenzy on 13 and 14 here. Going back to 7 and 8, it looks like Katie's moved in a little bit, gone to a shinier ball. Corey's got a good game cooking, except for that open in the 6th. Double up possible 236. Of course, Corey's a very free spirit, nice guy, having a little fun out there. So that's the most important thing.
Now I'm sitting next to two very good left-handers. So I'm hoping that you two can dispel the rumor that lefties don't have to move. Is that true? I mean, I think it's a rumor because I've seen some lefties move, but I mean, just for the record.
We know McNeil moved. He moved from Reno now to Baton Rouge this year, and ended up switching balls instead. So that's what we do.
No, okay.
We don't move at all. We just throw something different. No, I mean, obviously when you don't have the traffic on your side of the lane, the moves are less. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, if you don't have anybody playing there, you're the only person breaking them down. If you spend enough time there, like next year when there's 6 games, you're going to have to move just like anybody, just like a right-hander. But, McNeil had 2 other lefties on his pair last night, so his look was going to be different than maybe in past years when he was out there all by himself. And it's just, again, it's a matter of who's on your pair with you. Obviously, if you have 9 right-handers and 1 left-hander, the righties are going to have to chase it all around. And that's where the game plan and strategy come in as far as breaking the lanes down to the right and then creeping into the left, or you ball down and stay in the same spot. Eventually, you open the lane up and you create some area. And as you creep left, you can throw it to the right and you get a nice motion. And, of course, a better angle, better carry, the whole deal. But when you're left-handed and you're all by yourself, if it's there, great. And it happens a lot, if you have a look. And if you don't, then you're kind of in trouble, because you don't have the opportunity for that to change, to break them down, to have to move. So then you're fishing. So it could work either way, in your favor or against you, depending on what's out there. And Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think you really covered it very well, Matt. So very well said. The only thing I'd add to that is the very in-tune bowlers make very good educated moves, and they'll move according to what they see out on the lanes. Last night, for instance, I moved about 2.5 boards. With three lefties on the pair, we set them up so good. I moved about 2.5 boards over the 3 games, and a very slight speed and release change, which would probably make up for maybe a board and a half. But when you're out there bowling, you're going to see, if you're in tune to what you're doing, you'll be moving, because the laws of physics says you have to move, and you're going to have to make moves out there. So it's very untrue that left-handers never move.
Well, I mean, very often I'm the only lefty in my group, on my team, whatever. So I'm out there, and it's up to me. Last year, a perfect example, I struggled through game number 1. It took a while for things to develop for me, to get comfortable. And I was all on my own, and started with 169. And finally things kind of worked out a little bit, made some ball changes, got where I was happy, and finished with 230, 240 in the team event. Does that happen quicker? This year we'll have 2 lefties, possibly 3. So things are going to be a little bit different, hopefully better, to where we can come up with a little bit of a strategy as far as how we want to break things down. And that's just what it's all about. I mean, that's what we're accustomed to, and being just 1 or 2 of us most often, we play with what we're given. That's all we can do. And the fact that we don't have the traffic, that's the common sense answer, of course.
Yeah, it's a very good right-handed bowler from back home. David Lehner told me one time, if you don't have it, don't say anything, and when you do have it, don't say anything. He's a heck of a guy, heck of a bowler back home, had a great tournament out here, but he's really right in the fact that, sometimes the left side is better than the right, sometimes it's not. Make do with what you have, but let's focus back on the fine action that we have out here on 7 and 8.
Well, with game 2 coming to an end, actually on lanes 13 and 14, there's some chatter in the chat room. I know Emil's heart is quietly breaking next to me. Derek Rose, some basketball talk. The Chicago Bulls, things not going well there back home for Emil, but we're going to actually turn our attention to Mike Rose and his teammates. We'll take a look up at the scoreboard. And here's what we're looking at here in game 2. So a lot of strikes up on the board. And again, they were grinding out game number 1, and 1,008 and 988, and the strikes coming here in game 2. Scott Terzo, the left-hander, misses left, gets it through the break point. 2 lefties on this pair, 3 lefties. No.
Yeah, you got Scotty, Jack. I think there might just be 2, Scotty and Jack. But they're both a little loopier. Scotty can go straighter than Jack because he doesn't have as much hand. But I think Jack's got 190, 2-0. Scotty had 170. Looks like he can shoot 2-1 here. So. See if they can figure something out for the 3rd game. Looks like they made him a little tricky with Jack right of Scotty, and then Scotty trying to play a little straighter than Jack. So, but your big focus here on the left lane is Kevin Mitchell, spare, double, spare, 5-bagger with a possible 258, and that's a big score up there. I mean, these guys can get to a good 1,100 if they all strike out here. So let's watch. Oh, great shot, Kevin. Great shot.
Now, these guys always a threat in the team event, team all events, and of course for anything really. But they really have come together to bowl well as a team in recent years. We saw them make a run back in 2010, I believe, and always right around the top of the leaderboard. And, of course, Mike Rose broke away from the group in 2007 and 2008 to find quite a bit of success. Mike also shot 2,200 last year, I believe, in Reno. But again, this is the team event, the team effort, and things going probably exactly to plan here. Grinding through game number 1 and strikes coming in game number 2 as Kevin Mitchell now finishes strong.
Oh, yeah, that's a great game. 258 out of here is like shooting 300 back home. I mean, this shot is tough. You got to get him out here and make really good shots. So 250 is a monster out here. Great bowling by Kevin. Now let's see if Jerry can follow it up here. Jerry's got a possible 246. So I can really start up the U-Haul and make a move.
Got that scoreboard thing down now.
I'm starting to figure it out, Emil. Oh, yeah. He got away with one there.
Turned his back on it. Doesn't look like he liked it very much, but it appears, based on the back-end reaction of that ball and the mid lane, that they have broken them down exactly how they wanted. And he might have felt like he missed right, but it made the move, and he's actually surprised. But that's what it's all about. So they're doing things just right and being rewarded on the scoreboard. So a lot of big numbers this game.
Oh, yeah. And if he can get this next one, that's pretty darn big. It'll really give him a nice jump start towards a good 1100 and put him within distance of the top 10. Oh, came in light again, leaves a weak 7.
I think he might have knew that one. I think he might have leaked it. He leaked it a little right, just a little bit. But I think key here is to look at the scores for both teams, and it's something that at least I thought when you get to high quality, high caliber teams, you can expect their scores to be around the same, very similar, of course, through each game. And sometimes it's just not the case. One team has a much better look, or at least is able to knock the pins down better than the other. But these teams very close to one another. 988 for Storm in 1, and 1008 for pole position in game number 1, and now have a chance to be very similar again here in game number 2. The Royce rusher up on the left lane. He's got a chance for a big one as well for Storm in 1.
Yeah, certainly. So Royce comes up here. He's got 247, Emil?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so 247. I promise I'm going to get this down. But then we're back in Reno for the next 2 years, so I won't see these scoreboards.
That was a big 310 conversion from Scott Bowl.
It was. That was huge. So that's 180 for Scotty if he can get all 10 here after 240 the first game. So that tells me that he just caught up in transition a little bit. Hopefully he can make a balls change there and see what happens.
Wichita Bowling Supply continues to struggle here in game number 2. We'll have those that final tally in just a minute. There are a lot of strikes being thrown on 13 and 14. However, throwing away a couple pins there in the 10th. And of course, you want to get every pin you can along the way because you never know if it's going to come down to 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, we're in 5th place by 1 pin. You know, that's a big money difference on the pay sheet. So every pin counts. Mike Rose up here on 14. Leaves a weak 10. So with a spare here, it'll be 213 for Mike. I think he just had 2-0 the first game, so lackluster start for Mr. Rhodes. But
no, Matt, unfortunately, we have a term for that kind of leave here in the Open Championships. We call that the flat dime.
The flat dime,
yes,
I like it. So when I left that flat 7 yesterday on the front 9.
I think we're still working. We've been 2 years in and still trying to figure out a
flat good, nickel and 2 pennies.
A good name for the flat 7. Get another shot, great shot from Macon Kelly.
A good spare by Mike, so give them all 10 on the next ball, probably. Might make a change, try something different. Yep. Oh, maybe not. I think he's going to stick with that Versa Max. But once again, this really boils down to breaking the lanes down correctly as a team and playing all together. And I think we're seeing a really good example of what can happen when you do that and what can happen when you don't do that. So for all the bowlers tuning in tonight, boy, this is quite a treat, quite a learning experience. You get to watch all these great bowlers out here, and you get to watch and see what they're doing.
1066 for pole position as Mike Rose Jr. finishes with 213. 2074, so plus 74 after 2. And then still Storm in 1 yet to go. They've got a full 10th frame, well, not a full 10th frame, I should say, as Michael will gather up. Has the bucket to deal with, however, of course, not the easiest spare to make, especially in the 10th frame. They've already exceeded the 1100 mark.
Let's see what happens here with the anchor bowler. Big spare. Nope. Oh, that hurts.
Missed it left there, only gets 2, so that's
$1.79. Or $1.81 actually, give them the 2 pins.
All right, quick look at the scoreboard on those guys, and then we'll turn our attention back to lanes 7 and 8. The featured pair, Wichita Bowling Supply, 802 and 997 in game 2. So things still not going well for those guys, but hopefully they can finish strong here in game 3. And here they are.
And Billy had a better game than last game. So he's coming around. Looks like all the guys are starting to play a little straighter, a little more direct at him. As you can see, Richard just go nice shot on lane 8.
coming up on the 11 o'clock hour here, Central Time.
Yeah, it's getting up there, isn't it?
Here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Of course, now midnight on the East Coast. So we appreciate you still tuning in, staying up late with us. Hopefully you can continue to stay up late, at least catch on the archive. Some more bonus coverage here at 11:30 coming up. The doubles and singles, the minor events for Lynn's Lakers. Including Matt McNeil, who's joined us in the booth. Been here from jump with us. Matt, what's the experience like when you're not bowling? You've been up here with us for a couple of games. What's it like to kind of analyze and see it? I guess when you're off the lanes.
It's always good. I really like being up here in the booth with you and Maddie. It's a great experience to keep my mind off things and just be loose and put away some of the jitters a little bit. Plus, I'm getting a bird's eye view on what I'm going to be seeing for my doubles pair, 7 and 8, because I get to watch Katie and Corey. There's no left-handers on 5 and 6, so that's a good thing. But it's always really nice to come out here and watch, just see what you're going to be seeing out on the lanes when you take them. Just gives you a little idea what you can do a ball to start with, because as we all know, you only get 2 shots on each lane, and those are very important. So you got to take full advantage of those and try to cut down the guesswork. So if you do your homework, you don't have much guesswork to do, and that's big.
Jared Casewell just left a mean 8-pin on lane 13, so that's not the start he was looking for, but nonetheless a great shot. And we see 3 strikes on lane 8 for Wichita Bowling Supply.
Yeah, Corey came up high for an open, broke the string there, but come back down to Brian, who had a pretty big game last game. April just crushed an 8-pin. Ouch.
Another mean 8-pin for April.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Brian's still throwing that omen. So he's just been making the moves with his feet. That ball seems to roll really well out here. I know Eric Vermillier, another USBC employee, multiple Team USA member, won JOG back in the day in 03. Said that ball rolled like gravy train with biscuit wheels out here. So if you're coming out, it might be a good one to bring. I'll also throw a quick plug in for Global. I used my bankroll, and it was awesome in routine, as my score shows. So that and the Black Eagle and the train, all 3 balls look really good out here on the lanes. But back to action, and Don Anderson crosses over for a 6-pin.
Here's Bluhowski.
Oh boy. Oh, good break. Yeah, Shannon's gone open, strike, open, Brooklyn. She's really lost, and it really boils back to that first game, Emil, where when I was saying I think she's starting too far right, she's going to make a dicey second and third game, and that's exactly what happened. She had 220, which is still a good game out here, but 220 isn't an Eagle game. You can maybe maybe have one of those, but then you really got to turn it up. Now she's gone open strike, the last strike coming very fortunately. So Shannon needs to draw on all her experience and try to come up with a game plan on how to attack this pair.
So Maggie Smith able to trip her 4 out for a strike. She's got an early double. Another double for Richard there.
So, Mr. McNeil, John Cryer Jr. in the chat room has some questions for you. Obviously, he is a very talented left-hander from Minnesota, 2010 doubles champ. And he is curious, do you feel like everything went as planned for you guys? And what's the strategy heading out there tonight now that you've seen who's on your pair?
Yeah, everything really went as we planned. As far as we stuck to the plan, executed it. We just had a couple unfortunate events where we had some players just not have a great day out on the lanes, and that's bowling, that happens. But we're a team. We win as a team. We don't succeed as a team. So the plan went perfectly. The left side set up exactly how I wanted it to. The right side set up pretty well. I think we might tweak a few things here or there, but otherwise everything went pretty much according to plan.
All right, there you have it from the expert, Man McNeil 792 in team event last night. Just minutes away from doubles and singles here, trying to make it 2 all events titles in 3 years. The number on top, while we have a chance, we're getting ready to finish up the team event here. We know that the leader in team event, 3401, Mr. Williams. But let's chat about the rest of the leaderboard. I know McNeil, the number he's in search of right now, I would think 2170 on top. We had a very close call this week. Derek Oaf, former Team USA member and 2008 World Cup champion, 2167 in second. So he made a run at it, came up a little bit short as we talked earlier. 1 pin on the field ball here, 1 pin on a washout there, whatever. And that, of course, the difference. Derek did not throw very many bad shots. But again, you get an 8 count instead of a 9. And you throw away a pin on a field ball here and there, as we saw a few minutes ago with Jerry Casebolt. And that could be the difference between an eagle and second place. So, Emil, what's it looking like, top 10?
Well, in regular team, first, of course, 34-1, still Nicholas J's Pro Shop. In 5th place, now Lens Lakers 1 from Minneapolis with 32.78. And then in 10th, Indy Storm 1 from Mandan, North Dakota, again, 32.27. So 32.27 will get you in the top 10 in regular team. Regular doubles, 14.64. Some new leaders, I believe, this week, early this week. That is Roger Blanchard and Jimmy Zimmerman, 14.64, both from Syracuse. In 5th place, Paul Marmolejo and Alex Marmolejo with 13.98. And in 10th place, Paul Fleming and Rick Steelsmith, 13.71. In regular singles, again, the lone 800, not only this year, but in Baton Rouge history at this event. Henry Teets III from West Allis, 800 even, is currently leading regular singles. John Ferretti from Erie, Pennsylvania, in 5th place with 771 and a tie for 10th. Robert Baldwin from State College, Pennsylvania, and Robert Hackelman from Evansville, Wyoming, 751. That's still a quality score, 750 it takes to get yourself in the top 10 regular all events. First, again, still Ryan Whitney from Louisville, Texas, 2170.
Yeah, it's a great score. Great score out there. That's a lot of sticks. So, gentlemen, I'm going to go prepare for my singles doubles here. So, thank you so much for having me up in the booth. It's been a pleasure, as always, with you gentlemen to be able to commentate and field some questions and watch the fine bowl in action.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for for coming on up, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that is Matt McNeil, 2010 regular all-events champ here with a record score of 23-26, and he made a run at it again in 2011. Ended up finishing third, 22-41, and was within a half a game of taking the lead again. He came up a little bit short. Ball change came a little bit late, and he's back at it here in 2012. Big team event last night, 792, the highest three-game set in the team event this year. And he's feeling comfortable and confident with a new team this year, Linz Lakers, the 2002 and 2006 Team All-Events champion. And he is now in the major leagues, I guess. It's been a progression for him. He's looked up to these guys his entire life, and bowled with some talented teams so far, and has kind of worked his way up to the big dogs, I guess, of Minnesota. Linz Lakers, they are always a threat. They took the lead at one point in Team All-Events last year. They'll be out here in just a few minutes with some potential bonus coverage here on Bowl.com, Bowl TV. And so McNeil going back to the squadron right now, getting ready. He's been watching his pairs so far tonight. Corey Simmons, a very talented left-hander, helping him break those down, so we'll see how that turns out. But McNeil, one of three bowlers in Open Championships history with 2 800 series on the tournament lanes. Of course, he had one in 2010 and another on the live stream broadcast last year in 2011. You can actually find that on Bowl.com. Today's story that we put up, Chris Dunham shot 300 in the team event last night, and of course we mentioned McNeil and his 792 series, as well as a link to last year's success, but last year is in the past, and now it's time to look forward. Will McNeil become the first bowler in tournament history with 3 800s on the tournament lanes? We'll see tonight. But right now, we still have almost a whole entire game of team event action to look forward to. We have Wichita Bowling Supply right in front of us, starting to put some strikes up here in game number 3. And one pair to the right of them, Team USA member Shani Pluhowski and Megan Kelly, USBC Hall of Famer Linda Kelly. Things going very well for them here in game 1, 2, and 3 so far. And on lanes 13 and 14, Mike Rose Jr., 2007 All-Events champ, and his very talented crew, including former Team USA member Scott Pohl, and up top there, Jared Casebolt, Kevin Mitchell, PBA regional champions. And those guys actually the high score of the night, 2,100 after 2 games, so we'll have our eye on them as well. Emil, did I miss anything?
Yeah, that's a pretty good rundown right there, sir, of course. The number McNeil's is looking for, 2170. Again, that is Ryan Whitney. Seems like it's been quite some time since he posted that number. I think it was in March, if I'm not mistaken. It is hung on so far. So, of course, we mentioned Derek Oaf, and he gave it a great run. He bowled very well, and shot 2167. 5th place in regular all events, 2087. So the good score. Actually, that is currently held by 2010 singles champion Terrence Siren. And in 10th place, the gentleman that Matt mentioned, Matt McNeil, that is, David Langer, also from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, with 2070.
So scores here in Baton Rouge a little bit lower this year, and still 2,100 is a bunch no matter what condition you're bowling on. And somebody in the chat room was curious, what are we bowling on here this year? It was a 39-foot USBC Open Championships custom pattern. You can find more information about that on bowl.com. Just go to the Open Championships page and click on the lane conditions information box. You'll find a graph of this year's pattern as well as a brief explanation. And you can also have a look at the previous patterns the last 2 years to compare if you'd like. You can find that and much more actually on bowl.com as far as scores, results, pictures, news, notes, even information about the nearby Bowlers Journal Championships alongside the Open Championships for the 66th year across town at Metro Bowl. So an opportunity to get a tune-up before you come out to compete at the Open Championships. A lot of money to be won at that event. Another USBC Sport Bowling Certified Lane Condition to help sharpen your skills and get you loose and ready for the Open Championships. Jerry Casebolt stopping by to say hi in the booth tonight. He's out there leading his team as we mentioned, the high score on the squad, 2,100 after 2 games. And that is great. They did go to the Bowlers Journal today as well to loosen up and possibly win a little extra prize money too. So a lot of bowling opportunities here at the Open Championships. We talked about the showcase lanes upstairs earlier for a nice practice session with your team to help get things loose and get that strategy worked out. And I believe they took advantage of that as well. So if you're coming to town, be ready to bowl. A lot of opportunity to put your striking shoes on. A lot of prize money to be won. More than $5 million up for grabs here at the Open Championships, as well as many thousands of dollars in various divisions at the Bowlers Journal Championship. So check all that out on bowl.com. And it looks like Gail Myers Jr. is going to call it a night. Just going to miss our bonus coverage tonight if we can get things worked out to check out Lynn's Lakers and see if they can take down that top team all events number, 99.54. That's been up there for a couple weeks now. S&B Pro Shop 1. That is a doozy, but Lynn's Lakers very familiar with the number 10,000. So you just never know what you're going to see.
Last year, Lynn's Lakers took the team all events lead at 11:30.
And when they won their title in 2006, also at 11:30 p.m. So those guys very comfortable, it looks like, late at night, and we will see in just a few minutes, actually. Dave Bartlett checking in the chat room, another one of our USBC guys. He'll be out here this week, bowling on Sunday, Monday as well. So still 340 strong. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're wrapping up the team event here at the Baton Rouge River Center 2012 USBC Open Championships. And our eyes right now are on Brian Waliczek and April Ellis, trying to finish strong here on lane 7 and 8. And just a bowler of note, Anne-Marie Curros shot 115 in game number 2 and has started game 3 with the front 4. So I'm guessing there's some sort of discussion or ball change there that has clearly worked out for her. We'll keep an eye on that as it develops as well. Brian Waliczek almost leaves the Swisher 7-10, but gets the 10 out, leaves just the 7. April, just the 7 pin as well.
Wichita connection on 7 and 8. We got the Ohio connection here on 9 and 10. We got some Colorado action and some New York action on 13 and 14. A lot of action, a lot of coverage. We try to bring you all we can. Scan down the venue. Don't see too much happening here in the third game. Everybody's still fixated on what's going on between 7, 8, 9, and 10. Maggie Smith converts the spare. She was working on the front four as well. So here's Verbal. All change, looks like that's a Brunswick Ultimax. Waliczek on lane 10. Reverse the 7-pin. 1076, 985 for Capri Lanes. Shannon Puhalski and company. 923, 997. Billy Murphy, who does not get the 10 out, is left with a 4-10 split. A tough night for Billy. So he'll take one, and here is Anne-Marie Quiros. Well, Light leads the bucket. I don't know how many green bowling balls there are on the market. The only one I can think of right now is an Emerald Vibe. Another great shot from Corey Simmons. Well, Corey now with a 4-bagger after starting with an open. Another good shot from Brian Waliczek, too. Brian, first frame, left a couple of ring 10s and then really got things together. Hasn't made a ball change. Looks like the Omen, if that is indeed the ball he is using, has been the one for him this evening. Of course, earlier we went through, we talked about what was in the bag for a couple of these players on 7 and 8. Game number 3 starting to wrap up here, the 8:30 team event. A lot of chatter and traffic amongst the halls here in the venue as people will start to scatter and try to converge on the locker.
Well, you know, Emil, as we talk about game number 3, and you talk about going to grab a locker, there's one way to guarantee yourself that you don't have to worry about waiting in line for a token or the possibility of no more lockers. And how's that?
Well, you can become a VIP member. Do that by going to bowl.com/VIP for the small cost of $199.95. You can get yourself a complimentary locker, but not only that, a lot of other goodies involved with this package. First one being a 1-hour session with USBC Silver Level coach Bill Hall on the showcase lanes. along with that session. Of course, you get a VIP shirt with your name embroidered. It says VIP on the front as well, the VIP nameplate. As a VIP member, you're also entitled to express check-in. Again, if you have several teams, if you have one team, you can skip the line and check in. Be first to be done with that. You can also be first in the squad room. We'll skip right to the front of the line, have your equipment weighed and checked, and then we'll actually bring it out to the lanes for you as well if you like. You don't have to do that, but the option is there for you. You also receive some discounts, Bowling Ball Express. You get $25 each way, you get $25 off. And shipping in, $25 off when you ship back home as well. It's 25% off one item in the USBC Sports Store here located on the second level here at the Baton Rouge River Center. You also receive a discount at the photo and video. Like to get a couple photos and a couple videos as well, you can do that and receive a couple bucks off on a package deal for you as well. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the big deal by many is the opportunity to have a session or a lesson with Bill Hall. Talk about some things, get your game right, perhaps develop or fix some things before you step foot on the tournament lanes. That locker, of course, is good for the time until you leave the building. You decide to go home, you turn your locker key in, and receive your nameplate in exchange. You also have the opportunity to check into the VIP lounge. You can have a seat there, chill out, enjoy yourself, take a load off, relax, enjoy some snacks and beverages provided in the VIP lounge as well. If you need to perhaps print some boarding passes or check the flight or anything of that nature, a couple of computers in there for you as well to use, equipped with internet. The building also is equipped with Wi-Fi, so ample opportunity to become a VIP member is there. Again, bowl.com/VIP to reserve.
So far, more than 250 bowlers have taken advantage of that VIP opportunity, so that program taking off and running here in 2012. Look for that again in 2013 with many changes and upgrades, no doubt. But don't delay. We request that you sign up 30 days in advance so everything can be set and ready to go for you when you get here. But definitely check that out again, bowl.com/VIP. Join more than 250 bowlers who have already taken advantage of that. And as we like to say here, we actually have 60,000 VIPs coming through the doors during this tournament, which will run from February 11th until July 10th. But the chance to be a VVIP out there on bowl.com, so check it out. Emil, a very good job summing that up, no doubts. A very cool program that will be available hopefully here in the future at the Open Championships as well.
And don't forget, if you are a VIP member, of course, the VIP lounge is adjacent, right next to our office, the media office. So, of course, feel free to say hi, say hello if you are in town, in the building.
That might be the selling point, I think, the opportunity to hang out with us. All right, let's take this chance at a scoreboard shot here. We haven't done that in a while. We're in game number 3 here. Wichita Bowling Supply struggling in games 1 and 2, not putting up huge numbers. But here's a look at that. see how Game 3 unfolds. There's some strikes up on the scoreboard, a couple of opens there, but they might have dug themselves a pretty sizable hole. Still going to be a casher, no doubt, but certainly 34-01, an incredibly huge number here at the Open Championships, and to make the top 10. 32-27, so score's starting to climb here, and a lot of good teams coming through here, not just this weekend, but in May, and all the way till the very end. So you just never know. I know there's some folks coming in the very last weekend as well. So you never know when something's going to happen here at the Open Championships. Could happen on day one. Could happen in March, like Brian Whitney shooting 21-70 to take the all events lead, or it could be one and done on the final day. So we will see. But right now, we're watching Wichita Bowling Supply, and we'll get back to the action. As we take a look at Katie Verbal and James Hall. And if you missed any of tonight's broadcast, hopefully you can check out the archived replay on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/BowlTV. You can find that and much more. So a lot of great broadcasts from this year, not just this event, but all other events as well. Lucas Wiseman, hard at work on the road. Recently at some collegiate events in Lincoln, Nebraska, the ISCs and the ITC. And then at the USBC Queens in Dallas, won by Deandra Asbady. So check that out. Once again, youtube.com/BowlTV for all of that and much more. And next up on the live stream schedule, Lucas headed to the PABCON Champion of Champions on May 9th. So check that out next weekend.
Corey Simmons is looking locked in. 6 in a row. Their first frame open. It's just like he did back in Newman. Oh boy, don't want to start the yawn.
You just got here.
Not even halfway through.
You just got here. Like you just came in like right before we started here. You got a good night's rest. Nothing happened last night for you to worry about. Probably got home early, way before the sun came up.
Well, not that far.
Okay. Got to sleep the day away. Maybe wake up, relax, watch a little TV, have some lunch on the patio. Enjoy the Baton Rouge sunshine, whatever you did.
Huh.
And then come strolling into work at 5 o'clock at night. Starting to yawn. I don't want to hear it, sir.
Well, that old saying, you know, there's not enough hours in the day. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Not enough hours in the day. Well, if we had more hours in the day, we'd have more live streaming today, I'm sure. But right now, we're watching the 8:30 team event, Wichita Bowling Supply. April Ellis, Billy Murphy, Corey Simmons, Brian Waliczek, some very familiar names from the collegiate, Team USA and PBA ranks. And, not faring so well here in 2012, and we still, of course, have our eyes on Storman 1 and pole position. Falling off a little bit here in game number 3, but we'll have those scores for you as well. And of course, the pair right in front of us, Shane Plahowski, the surprise appearance for tonight on this pair right next to our featured pair, and they're bowling very well also. So we'll have those final scores. They're actually going to be the first ones done by a bunch. So we'll keep you posted on that also. And if you're curious about how things are unfolding here at the Open Championships, check out bowl.com for all the latest news and notes. We'll get back to the bowling action. Maggie Smith looking at the 7-10 and what could be her third consecutive open frame after starting this game very strong with a 4 in a row. Things quickly went south. Reno led with a 4-bagger. So he's on 260 pace here through 8. So this game going much better for Wichita Bowling Supply.
.233 for Bob Kelly, 200 for Linda Kelly. For Capri Lanes and Megan Kelly just left the 1-2. Is able to convert that. Strike will give her 181. See Mike Rose Jr. with the strike on lane 13.
Yeah, Joey's in the chat room. Go LSU. Thanks for tuning in, but no thanks on the Tigers. But thanks for stopping by this afternoon as well. Had some good bowlers. Eric Traylor shot 800 in 2010. He was here bowling today. Bowled well again. I saw some local fans coming out. And, Dale McFarland from Texas. Must not be a lot going on back home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we do appreciate everybody joining us tonight to see from some familiar faces, namely April Ellis, former Dallas-Fort Worth resident, now moved to Wichita for a professional opportunity. And she's back here with her teammates. There's one, Corey Simmons. Now with 7 in a row after an open in frame number 1. So things going well here for Wichita Bowling Supply in game number 3. So should all of our technology cooperate, it looks like we are going to have some bonus coverage for you here tonight. Just so happens that Linz Lakers and Matt McNeil had a great night last night, and they're going to be coming up right in front of us for doubles and singles at 11:30. So we're going to try to keep things going to have some more excitement here on the live stream tonight. Might as well since we're already set up, and got to give the people what they want. Great shot there by April Ellis. Rings a 10-pin. She is having a very rough game. Actually has not struck here in game 3. Started the night with 236. And definitely things not going well for her here in the finale. But she definitely looks good doing it, sporting the orange and blue. That was part of the deal and much appreciated again. April, a big Florida Gators fan. She spares that 10-pin. Top of the lineup, Maggie Smith going to step up on the left. Tanya Anderson stepping up on the right, trying to make it 3 in a row. It's a lot of strikes on the board for the bottom half of this group.
But I had to ask April about her alliance to Florida. If I'm not mistaken, she grew up in Tennessee. So I had to ask her why she's not a Volunteers fan. But
well, do you really have to ask?
This guy.
Well, of course, I'm always going to be partial to the University of Florida. That's what it says on my diploma. That's where I spent 4 years of my life, and then another 3 as a local resident coach, newspaper guy. So I will always bleed the orange and blue, as,
of course.
as you will always be a Lion. As I saw some, I don't know, was it tie-dye colored tears coming out when things did not go quite so well at the ITCs. A heartbreaking loss for your alma mater, and definitely some interesting uniforms though. So that's where that tie-dye comment came in. But those guys, they definitely do it proud and they do it loud, and well, their success, of course, speaks for itself. Mr. Williams, a collegiate national champion, and big-time Lindenwood University supporter.
The Gators. Got some work to do, man, to get back to the top of the SEC as far as football is concerned.
Well, you know, it's all a cycle. Florida could be a bowling school for a while now. That's cool too.
.30-62 the total for Capri Lanes. Waliczek finishes with 214. Good set. Time can come away plus on the tournament lane. Good night.
Katie Verbal shooting at the very unusual 1-5. You don't see that a lot, and she made easy work of it, but that is definitely a rare spare anywhere. How about that? I'm a poet. Midnight, and still witty and clever, so might as well go for another 3 hours. What the heck? As long as I get home in time to change to come back, that's all that matters. And John Martorella checking in the chat room. John recently bowled a 900 series up in the Rochester area. He's checking in on Mike Rose, I believe, and the Rochester guys. And they're about 7 frames into game number 3. A lot of strikes on the board, and we'll have a look at that here in a few minutes once our featured pair is done for the night. John should actually be in town. I thought he was coming in to bowl. I talked to him yesterday. Maybe I'm wrong, but hopefully he'll stop by and say hello when he's around.
Congratulations, John. Job well done, sir. Job well done.
So 300 people checking in with us tonight. So far right now, we do appreciate it. April Ellis continues to struggle here in game 3. Still has not thrown a strike, just left the big 4. And she's at 110 in the 9th. You're going to need obviously 3 strikes will give her 140. Corey Simmons, however, now up on the right lane, working on a 7-bagger. Opening the first frame, leaves a 6-pin on 7 in a row. But anytime you throw 7 in a row at the Open Championships, you got to feel pretty good about that, especially if it's late here in game number 3 of the team event. You kind of have an idea of what you're going to be looking at possibly at the start of doubles and singles tomorrow. So he looks comfortable and pretty happy with his look right now, I would think, after throwing 7 in a row. There's actually been a lot of excitement in the bowling world these last couple of weeks. We had 2 900 series. We had some champions at the ISC. Actually, very local to these Wichita folks. And maybe you can talk a little more about that.
Georgia Drews won the intercollegiate singles championship on the women's side. Dynamite bowler for Newman University, coached by, of course, Billy Murphy, and obviously knows, if not all 10 people bowling on the 7 and 8 for Wichita Bowling Supply. And Jeffrey Young, one on the men's side. Wichita State Shocker. He took home the singles championship. His team actually finished at second, the runner-up to Weber International. On the men's side of the ITC, Intercollegiate Team Championships. In fact, Weber went on ahead and just completed the sweep as their women's team took care of business as well against Midland University.
Wichita, of course, breeds bowling talent, or perhaps they're already talented when they get there, and it just tightens up the skills a little bit, gets things ready for a career out there in the bowling world. And as we're seeing here, I mean, all of these folks very talented in that general area. Things not going so well here tonight. It does happen, but a lot of great stories coming out of that part of the country, and some more success recently. And then a Wichita rival, University of Nebraska. We've seen some success this week as well. Derek Oaf, former Cornhusker, and DeAndre Asbeatty taking home the USBC Queens title. A former Cornhusker as well. So
how about that?
College bowling, I guess, a stepping stone to many things.
That same team squad, what Derek was on. So some more former Shockers on the squad as well, a few pairs down. That was careerathletes.com. They're currently in second place, regular team with the 33-44. It's John Zabinski, Jesse Buss, Chris Drews, Casey Slaughter, A.J. Demon. Also bowled on that same pair with Rick Steelsmith. So former Shocker, won national championship 1987. With our man Chip.
Our very own Chip McKee, but as he'll tell you, 1987, Emil still working on that whole potty training thing back then, and we were just kids back then, but as Chip will tell you, they are not old, they are simply classic. And call it what you want, but they are champions nonetheless. So always good to see those folks come out here as well.
Rick bowled with Justin Romick, Tim Pinner, Paul Fleming, who also went to Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken. Paul Nade, Wichita State Shocker. And Craig Jensen. Craig from the Wichita area as well.
Well, we are in the 10th frame here with our Wichita Bowling Supply folks, and a 256 game up top for Reno Lett. James Hall with a double here in the 10th as well. So a lot of strikes on the board. It looks kind of cool with all those strikes up there. I hope we see something like that next Sunday. Not something like that, however. The old 3-7 for the left-hander. Missed a little bit left, and unfortunate split to shoot at Katie Verbal. Certainly one of my bad habits is getting fast and missing left or getting it through the break point. And a lot of 5-count washouts, a lot of 3-7s at this event, 3-7-9s. Had a couple of years lucky enough to roll either the 3 or the 7 and just have a single pin to shoot at, but just got to get better. That's all it comes down to. You throw better shots, and I imagine in the next couple hours we might see a couple of good shots. Matt McNeil, 2010 regular all-events champ, coming up next. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, but still some team bowling left. A lot of pins out there as these guys are going to finish up. Anne-Marie Kurros throwing that Emerald vibe that we mentioned earlier. Started this game with 4 in a row after 115 in game number 2. So we've seen it. We saw it just the other day. Gentleman had a 230 start, was feeling pretty good, and shot 142 in game 2 and bounced back with 300. So, you know, just never give up, I guess, is the moral of that story. And don't be afraid to make a move or try something or do something if something's not working. I know easier said than done when you got 8 balls looking at you and you're making moves. And most importantly, stay calm, stay patient. Stay with your game plan.
Got to stay with the game plan. It's easy to have something in place and immediately go away from it.
Yeah, we got some question about the possibility of a Chip Akey live stream since he's a past champion and an employee. Chip actually bowled about a month ago. He set up a pretty high number. He shot 1970, maybe, something in that general area, 1950 maybe. So he certainly raised the bar for all of us employees. Give us something to shoot at, so looking forward to that. But Chip came on one of our live streams earlier in the year. I'm sure he'll be back on in the near future as April Ellis, her first strike here in game number 3, comes in the 10th frame. And as the 11:30 squad heads out to the lanes. Coming up on midnight here in Baton Rouge River Center 2012. USBC Open Championships. Corey Simmons goes high, leaves the 2-7. April looking for a double here to close out game number 3. Gets that one left and it holds. Trips out the 4. So one more strike gives her 140 here in game 3. Corey Simmons misses the 2-7, but solid game, finishes with 247. So things seem to work out for him. And that is the pair actually that Matt McNeil is going to start on. I thought it was 9-10, but it appears that is not the case. So we'll get you the best look we can from where we are. Obviously 7 and 8 is going to be a good look because that's where we are right now. As April finishes with 138. So nobody on this team will shoot 200 here in game number 3. Things going much better, however, for the bottom half of the group. Brian Waliczek's going to close things out. Big strike there for 4 in a row.
Strike there should get him into the plus range overall for the team series.
So 3,000, still a solid number here at the Open Championships. Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
Another strike, and Brian will be in the 240s.
Shot there from Waliczek. I was really impressed with him in college, and then again, back in 2006, ran into him at the Hoikey Super Classic. Saw him lose early in that event, and of course in that tournament, he started out at that time with 6 or 8 bowlers on a pair, and then 4 advance. And after that, it's head-to-head match play, and he got bounced early and went into the second chance contenders bracket or whatever you want to call it. And averaged way higher than the rest of the field the whole rest of the way and found his way back into the final 8 for a chance at the money. Really impressed me that he was able to keep his composure and finish as strong as he did and average as high as he did. And he finishes this game with 247 as well. So 11:28 in game 3. They opened up just like we thought they would. And they finished with 30-48, so very respectable. Plus a 48. And things not going so well for their companion team. 26:04. And that's going to do it for that. We're actually going to have to check out here for a minute to get things set back up for Matt McNeil to come on. Let's take a quick look at our other scoreboard before we go, and then we'll be right back with you, we promise, once we get things set up. But there's a look at our what looks like going to be the last team done tonight, and they're well over 3,000 as well. So That is that. If you missed any of this broadcast, you can find it on YouTube/Bowl TV. We'll go back down to see April and Billy packing things up, calling it a night. And they're going to go regroup, I'm sure, as they get ready for a big day tomorrow of doubles and singles. All right, Emil, we're going to cut this off here in a second. We'll be right back with everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a few.